Are we?
Hello!
Hey! Where are we?
Oh,
Which
there's still
camera
plastic
are we
on my candy cane. Hold
Oh,
on.
sorry, I forgot to pull it
It's
all
okay.
off. Sorry.
It's all gone now.
Yay! We're at 2. Hey everybody, welcome to the Wednesday Club. Now I'm over here. Chief is doing that on purpose. I'm Matt Key.
Yep, almost certainly.
At the Matt Key. Now we're over here. Okay. Hey, Chief. This is not Christmas cheer.
It is for the rest of us.
Hey everybody, it's the Wednesday Club
Only
with Matt
gift I
Key.
wanted.
At the Matt Key, joined by our other elite club members.
It's not an elite club, it's just a regular club.
Really,
You're all
actually,
in the
any,
club
like-
with us.
Whoa! Look at what the coffee did to my candy cane.
What?
What?
There's just, it looks like a secret message inside your
How
candy
is
cane.
it like cleanly cut off, but
I
then
don't know.
It's the key to the candy kingdom.
show them. Hold it at a
Hold it,
sideways
hold it.
angle. Yeah.
Oh.
What?
What? Science.
I'm either worried
Is
about
that where the
candy
plastic
cane.
ends? Is that where that
Yep, those are little plastic guns.
My,
the plastic perfectly? Yep.
It's my favorite book of poetry where the plastic ends.
Where the plastic ends? Yeah, we got Amy Dallen and we got Taliesin Jaffe.
Hi.
And Kenwin truly outdid himself this week.
This,
Look at this.
what a Christmas gift this is.
Ah. What is in Santa's sack there?
Oh, that's a dolly.
doll. It's
a
And,
doll.
and it looks like a sled.
And a nutcracker.
And a nutcracker.
Yeah. Maybe a lollipop?
This
No,
is
it's a wheel.
from the very first Superman Christmas comic, Superman's Christmas Adventure, from I believe 1940. Nerd.
Please tell us about Superman's Christmas Adventure.
Tell us all
Is that
about
what are we
Superman's
talking about today?
Well, we should probably address that, right? Today we are talking about. So the publishers, a lot of times, what they'll do is they'll have like a big Christmas special with all of their big heroes. Marvel, DC especially do it a lot. Hellboy had a special one-shot Christmas adventure. So we're talking about those today. And sometimes like they'll be like in the normal line of publishing. Sometimes they'll be like a one-shot single event sort of thing. A couple of my, we'll get into a couple of my favorites, but yeah, this was one of the very first hero Christmas comics. In fact, it might be the first hero Christmas comic, really.
It might be.
Superman does tend to get to
Superman
places
is-
first in general.
Yeah, strange that he's the first and got to everything first like that. Though I will, so yeah, Christmas Adventure, written by, oh man, I wrote it down. Or maybe I didn't. I don't know. It's been a day.
It's been a long. It's been a week, man.
It's Jerry Siegel wrote it. Jack Burnley did the art for it. So Schuster was not on that one. But yeah, it's from the 40s. Oh, look at that! And that's me. Yeah. All right.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that!
Nice shirt you're
Matt
wearing
Key.
there.
So here's
It is
my.
a good shirt.
It is very
Isn't it? Yeah, I didn't have anything Christmassy, but I thought there's a Deadpool.
I've got the most Christmassy thing for next episode, so I'm very excited.
I'm super. You told me about it, and I'm so jealous.
so excited.
I'm so jealous.
It's going to be wearing something so festive.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, no. Coy introduced me to a new store, and now my life has changed. So
Yeah, our friend Coy Jandro,
from Marvel Movie News.
my
of the show.
my host on my old show, Marvel Movie News. Yeah,
Friend of the show. Friend
friend of the
us.
show. We'll have him on when we.
He's
talk
a
to him.
delightful human, but I don't understand how this relates to Christmas festivity.
He showed me a store to buy things, and I bought a very festive thing from the store
Yeah.
that he sent me to, which I'm
Yeah.
very excited because
It's a great store. It's called Box Lunch.
box lunch.
There's a couple of I think it might actually be like a nationwide chain, but the
I'm
only one that I know
describing
of is
it
in
as
the.
grown-up Hot Topic.
No, it absolutely is. Grown Up Hot Topic. And what they do, they're a great charity because they donate, I think, a piece of every sale to buying a box lunch for a family in need.
No.
And then I think they have like
They did
special.
not pay for this, by the way. This is just
No,
this is
it's-
what we talk about when we.
No,
advertise.
but it's rad. It's
Yeah.
really cool
And
what
they're
they
all-
do.
they were super nice.
And I bought this shirt there, and the big Avengers shirt that I like to wear a lot. I bought there, and part of those proceeds go to feeding children and families in need. So.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
And
really.
they've got really cool stuff, like a shirt that has like subtle Deadpool dealy
I
whoppers on
almost
it.
bought a little flash one.
Daily
today, too.
Whoppers.
I think that's what that's what
I
graphic
always
designers
think of
call
those
them,
as
right?
these, but like they
Oh,
could
like
be
an
anything.
alien?
Yeah. Or what?
No, like an alien. Like
Oh, I
dealy
think you
whopper.
said like in Alien, and I was
Oh,
like,
yeah, like in
no one
Alien,
has
the-
adorable dealy
the
whoppers in the
xenomorph has like a
terrifying
dealy
space
whopper.
horror movie.
Yeah, it just says the Lordy Lordy. I'm over 40. It's going down, 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 down.
Oh my. Dude, that'll be my party next year. That'll be my.
It don't suck.
My birthday party next year.
40 don't
Lordy,
suck.
Lordy, Maddie's 40.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna suck. It hasn't sucked so far. It's been pretty cool. 40 been okay.
No.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chief.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah,
This
thank
week
you,
the
Chief.
monitor's big, and we can read Chief's
Wow,
notes.
yeah,
so we
no,
will
good work, Chief.
be spotting it when he makes fun of us in the notes this week.
So yeah, sneak preview. I'll be wearing a great sweater. It's gonna
Yeah.
be great.
So I really want to get into this, but first it is time. We finally do this.
Oh man, I feel so
is-
bad.
It is time we finally do this.
We got confused and then stubbornly stuck with it for months.
From our dear Wednesday Club watcher, Wednesdaisy, I believe is what we call them. Is it Wednesday yet? From Half-Faring Circus, Half-a-Ring Circus. But I like Half-Faring.
Half-Fairing Circus.
Fair as well.
But Half-a-Ring, a.k.a. Jen Wolf, thank you. I'm not going to read the letter because this is to us. This is a letter for us. But they sent us a care package.
Which we have not
of
opened.
gifts. And I can't remember when this was that they sent this.
I think
it's been a couple
literally
months though.
Yes.
It's been months, but like the festive nature of the bag made it feel weird to open before we were actually doing. Like,
Yeah, and we
anything
were
Christmas.
gonna, and then we decided that we shouldn't, and went
maybe
back
we
and
should.
forth a lot.
It was very back and forth.
What are these?
I
Oh wow.
I see handwriting.
Another shot. So this is all really cool stuff that I think.
Should we maybe have read the letter?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, well, I read it. I read it, but I can't remember what it was. I read it 2 months ago.
Thank you.
I'm reading this for me.
Okay, here, Taliesin, you look through those real quick.
All right.
And I'm gonna be Santa Claus. I'm gonna give out the gifts.
Oh,
We got,
wow.
This is to Taliesin, sir.
Oh, it's got planes.
This is.
Ooh, I think I know what
this is to me. All right. And this
Nope.
must
No, we
be
don't.
to Ms. Amy Dallen. There you go. That's for
Yay!
you.
No, this is way.
I got spaceships. I got astronauts on mine.
Spaceship.
My name is on the moon.
Oh, you're the moon. You're
Or
the moon. What
it's
is
on
it?
a celestial body of some kind.
What is it, Tal?
It is. Oh, it was. What I was looking at that I thought I recognized was a shot of the of Dr. Evermore's Everton. This is the world's largest scrap metal sculpture, located about half an hour away from the Rod
that's
Western Circus
cool.
World. Yeah, in Wisconsin. More than serial killers and bees.
Is Jen Wolf out in Wisconsin? Is this?
I'm not sure. There's a lot of beautiful art, and especially scrap metal art, and sort of my kind of the East Jesus.
Oh yeah. Slab City.
Neo Rococo, what was the Neo Bohemian stuff that we love so much.
Yeah.
those
No,
pictures.
that's so.
We'll probably
such
we'll-
Burning Man. So
maybe,
art.
maybe next episode we'll take a couple of these pictures and show them off.
Yeah. Scan them into the computer.
Yeah.
Use our. Do
Use
we
our-
have scanning technology here?
I don't know, but
Heather.
we're a digital technology company. I'd imagine we could do something.
Let's not go
but
crazy.
I was about to say, once the Wi-Fi is working consistently, I'll see how I feel about that.
So, is there anything in the letter that?
Some awesome comic book recommendations, but nothing about these pictures.
Well, the pictures are awesome. All right. Do we want to open at the same time, or do we want to go one at a time?
One at a time.
One at a time.
All right. Do we want to just start down there?
I'll start down.
All right.
Mine has
Aw.
airplanes.
What?
You're so self-sacrificing.
I'm sorry, I didn't think that's what I was doing. I
It's
just.
it's his vibe.
You picked the person farthest from you and said one at a time.
Well, yeah.
Ah.
Wow. Oh, that is so cool.
Toys. Oh, toys. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, so I don't even know where to start.
Wow,
There's too many
wow,
things
wow,
happening.
wow, 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 wow,
What?
wow,
That
wow.
is beautiful.
I love it. Oh.
It's got a hole so you can put through.
Yeah, there. I was like, where's the hole? There we are. Oh, this is good because I always get.
so
I, always-
Scarfing technology.
I love an infinite.
Is it killing your microphone right now?
I hope so. I love infinite loop scarves. I will admit. Oh, and it's in my color. I'm quite pleased.
It's so
Oh,
beautiful.
oh, that is nice.
Let's come to Burning Man.
Yeah, no, that's a burn scarf.
Oh, and I love friendship. Oh, Wednesdays.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wednesday Q Daisies is what I'm assuming that stands
Yeah.
for.
And right.
What is it?
I don't want to say it out loud. I want you to say it out loud.
Magneto was right. Oh, that's so rad!
This is kind of.
Oh my
this is like
God.
the greatest explanation of my aesthetic that
Oh
I've
my
ever
God,
seen.
that's so awesome.
Oh, and the other one says Genosha is for lovers. I'm so
Oh,
excited.
wow.
It's all Quentin
Oh my
Fire
God,
shirts.
you can never take
Oh
those
my
off.
God.
Oh my God.
Wait, what does the third one say?
What would Quentin do?
Oh my God.
Jen Wolfe, you killed
Well
it.
Oh
done.
my
You
God.
You killed it.
This is rocking.
Oh my God.
I'm glad we waited.
Yeah, same.
And thank you for the letters. I'm going to take a look at these while I'm.
You've got a manual.
I have a manual for my
For
jewelry.
your time machine.
I don't know if they can hear me because of this, so I'll pop that.
Amy, you go next.
Wait, what's your manual for?
I will read my manual while you are opening.
Okay. I was foolish enough to eat candy, so we're doing this left-handed.
Do you need me here? I can hold it here.
My hands are all sticky.
Oh, okay. you know me so well. One of the things that my lovely wife loves to make fun of me for is how tactile I am. I cannot, if I have anything sticky in my fingers, I shut down.
Oh no!
Like until I can wash my hands.
It's a thing.
Yeah. If like sticky or greasy, I'm just like, no.
You're like, no, the color yellow.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't make fun. She's just like, she finds it.
Just has a Batman-style file of your weaknesses, ready for the
Yeah,
day
Tower
that she
Babel,
needs.
she's ready to go.
All right. Let's see. This is the most beautiful paper.
You got it. You've got it. I believe in you.
I feel something fuzzy.
I don't even know.
Oh, that's.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, you got yarn. Whoa.
Crafter.
Oh, that's awesome. Let me help you out.
Oh my God, it's beautiful.
Oh, so pretty.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. Look at the colors on this.
How did you do this with all the different tracks of colors?
Wow, that's really pretty.
That's gorgeous.
Crafters astonish me.
That's an appropriate Doctor Who scarf. Right?
Oh my God. Oh, I love it so much.
And you have the yarn. Oh.
I
so
also
pretty.
have a traveling machine.
Oh.
So this is actually this is a user's manual for a time traveling machine. It's
Oh, that's
fascinating.
cool.
I'm giving it a little bit of a read. It's actually, you're not supposed to unpin it. I'm putting mine back because it's like a little. That's how it's bound.
Oh, how
it's
fascinating.
And like the notion
Wait.
being.
And on the back it says it's affiliated with Desert Bus in support of Child's Play, which is extremely exciting. There's a note in mine and these two stimulus.
Perhaps it was a mistake to give you sugar.
Yeah, what were you thinking?
I don't know.
Coffee and candy?
I have to be wakeful.
You guys, you can't have mine.
Oh, what is it? What does it say? What does it say? What does it say? Oh. you can't have mine here, Matt. Take it. Okay, you survive the. Hope you survive the experience. Oh, that's so
Nice.
cool.
Oh, this is so
my
great.
God.
And my
that's
other one
so
says
awesome.
WWKPD. What would Kitty do?
Pride do? Nice. That's awesome. Good work, Half a Ring Circus. All right, I'm gonna open mine now. You ready?
Yeah. You
I've
got Batman.
I got Batman. I got a Batman's. I got a Batman's. Let's see. Oh, Ditko's World? I've never seen these.
Oh my God.
My God. I'm gonna read this tonight.
This is incredible.
What a find! Holy!
Look how Dr.
cow.
Strangey they are.
That's my childhood right there. What is that?
Oh, I don't
Look
know.
at the color on that.
I don't know. This is amazing. It's the first 3 issues of Ditko's World. Oh my God. And it's
From
it's
Renegade Press?
yeah,
Which I've never heard of.
Same. What?
Yeah,
No,
only
I'm
we
sorry.
can see them.
Bip, bip, bip. Let's see. There's the Avengers right here. Right there.
Ah!
Look at that.
What? Ah, it's just so beautiful.
Know him? Have you met him?
You know what I'm really excited for with this is Ditko was very like en rond, and a lot of the stuff that he did for Marvel, Stan Lee quelled a lot of that voice.
Of like the crazy. So seeing how
So like this
how
is very
intense.
much just Ditko being very black and white, very like justice prevails no matter like if you've done
There's a
wrong,
lot of
you deserve
weirdness in there,
punishment.
man. That's
This
like,
is gonna be
gonna be some
fascinating.
Spectre.
I think there's some
some
quality
Spectre stuff.
crazy in there.
And if this is circa '86, this is just a few years before he helped create Squirrel Girl. So.
I'm thank you. This is ridiculous and
Guys,
lovely.
This is,
I
I'm
don't
sorry
even
that
know
we're
what-
taking up so much time with this.
What's a spindle, hand spun, hand dyed, hand knitted?
Man, I got a
what?
traveling machine.
Oh,
Also,
Hand spun,
hand spun.
hand dyed,
Hand dyed.
hand knitted.
Whoa.
scarf that I designed.
That is amazing. If they're watching right now, they should if they have a link to their store or anything if they sell this stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh,
my
yeah,
God,
no.
what would Stephen Strange
Best
do?
for Hope,
Oh my God,
Had to go there.
WWSD. That's amazing. Yeah, what would SJD, WWSJD, what would Squirrel Girl do? She made
That
one for
one's
my
not
lovely
for
wife,
you.
Brittany. Well, I'm going to wear it until I get it home to my lovely wife.
And think of your lovely wife while you wear them.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. That's amazing.
Yeah, I know. I'm
And then have a little note here. Some 1980s at Ditko I dug out of my long box. This is from them. This is their
No
long box.
way.
there's nowhere
Jen.
else that could be from. It's so random.
Oh, that's awesome. All right.
Oh, and my little ball of yarn is for, quote, anyone from Minds and Crafts who wants at it. That's got a certain Gina's name all over it.
Yeah,
Gina's
that's a beautiful
So excited
work
about this.
right there.
Hand spun
all
yarn.
right, we
I
should-
Thank you very
can't
much.
believe
Yeah,
it.
and thank you so much.
Did we finally pick a letters column? Because the chat is asking.
We did. We're announcing it on next week's
Next
show.
week.
Next week's show.
Because we have a graphic for it, I believe. Am I correct, Liz? We do have a graphic?
You can nod. We can see. Not
No,
today.
I know,
Yeah.
but we have a graphic for it.
We will.
I can say that, right?
We just said we're announcing it next week.
Yeah,
There will be a graphic.
There will be a graphic for it.
We're announcing a title next week, maybe other stuff as well.
And we already have some pretty cool stuff from you guys to talk about next week. But this being one of our 2 Christmas episodes, we thought it was about time that we opened Havering Circus stuff. So, I don't know why I turned into Regis Philbin all of a sudden.
I don't know
but
either.
there it is.
And the questions are coming in that are kind of fun. Somebody actually asked, do the buttons do anything? And I actually have an answer finally.
What?
Yes, the buttons do something. The buttons break.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
yeah, the buttons do break.
The buttons
Yeah,
do the buttons break.
The buttons do the break.
I got my first Christmas present also
Oh.
today.
What is it?
Amy picked up the Archie Comics #3
With the Chaverches?
with Churches. Archie's meets.
I love Chaverches.
I love Chaver. We went to their concert together.
They tweeted at Critical Role and made us really happy.
I know. Matt and Marisha showed us the other night.
I know.
It
I
was the
lost.
best.
I squealed
no,
like a
one-
12-year-old.
One third of Chaverches tweeted at Matt and Marisha, or was it at Critical Role? I can't remember.
It was at Matt and Marisha, and I don't know if I was in there too, but they were like, we love you. Hi.
Yeah, they
thank
tweet-
you for that show in the park, and then the cemetery was really
Yeah,
good.
they tweeted at Matt and Marisha saying they get a kick out of watching Critical Role on Geek and Sundry.
But-
And then Matt and Marisha were like, huh, look, Matt, look, huh. Yeah, so.
But
Because we went to their concert with your lovely girlfriend Stevie. The 6 of us went to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery and saw them last year. I want to say last May or something like that.
2016.
God, what a good
and this
show.
amazing McKelvey cover that
Jamie McKelvey variant cover.
did this beautiful cover that I'm so excited about, and this is probably getting framed to put
Yeah.
on my wall because that's what I do with my.
It's one of those things where I'm like, variant covers are bad and they're a scourge on the industry, and I will absolutely pre-order that. That is amazing, and
that
I'm
is
so
amazing,
glad
and I
it
love it.
exists.
Yeah.
Every last one of them.
Welcome to comics.
Welcome to Comics.
Yeah, no, I mean, since we're
But it's not a rarity-based variant. It was an open order. It's just a cool alternate, like the regular cover's great too.
I'm okay if they're not collect all of them, but hey, if there's one you really like, you should pick it up, and then you can put it on your wall and be really pretty, and you can show people.
It's Traverses. They're here, is what the back of it says.
It's atrocious.
Oh,
I've been really loving all the
amazing.
Archie crossovers this year, like the Poison Ivy.
They're having
really
so
digging
much
it.
fun.
Yeah.
I'm
Love
a
it.
fan.
All right. Do we want to jump into holidays with the heroes?
Yay!
Lead on.
All right. So one of my
Mr. Key.
favorite, so I've read a lot of the more modern stuff, so I focused a little bit more on the older stuff, and I literally just went through Comixology and just typed in holiday, and whatever the early stuff was that came up, I just bought it. Like it was like it's $2, I'll get it.
I was wondering. It was a weird.
Yeah, it was a weird assortment, but it was like holiday, great, Christmas, great. That's what I'm gonna get, and then a few others like the X-Men one that I knew about, stuff like that. So, 20 minutes in, should we? It is Christmas.
Presents are on theme.
Yeah, presents are in
This
theme.
has been on theme.
Yeah. This, I believe, as far as I can tell, this is the first superhero Christmas special, and it's amazing.
I haven't read this one.
didn't
Tell me
know.
about the story.
All right, so, well, it was a little hard to find, so I dug around on the internet a lot and just found websites that talked about it, because I could not find
There have
it.
been some fabulous rundowns.
anywhere,
I know
yeah.
Brian Cronin over at CBR does like a yearly rundown of
Yeah.
great Christmas stories. They're usually on different themes.
CBR's great.
Yeah, he does a ton of great stuff over
Yeah.
there.
So this was a free comic back in the day. In 1940, it was given out for free in department stores. You picking this up now? And I think it's like the second or third chief. If you're, yeah. So here's the cover of it.
Wow.
A victorious New Year.
Yeah.
It was a Bailey's department store.
Bailey's 3 department stores. And around the, I want to say, second or third page, you hear, I can't remember who it was, but there's a guy in a department store saying, "The Superman toys are flying off the shelves." And
Are they really flying?
No, they weren't actually
Oh,
flying, but
I
they
thought
were
that was
like,
a good
just
setup
like,
for, like-
no, I wish that
yeah.
they were. That would have been
That would've
awesome,
been-
but
that would've
no,
been awesome.
it's pretty lame. Just kidding. I just wanted to
Sorry.
make that joke. But like it was, so I read about it was free. It's like I read some of the history on it, and then I started reading the comic, and I got to that one panel. I was like, these Superman toys, we just can't keep them in stock. They're flying off the shelves, and I was like, that's why they were free. Bravo. Now I get it. This is all right. This is Secret Wars launching a toy line in 1985. All right.
Yep.
The He-Man cartoon.
What's that?
The He-Man cartoon.
The He-Man
Oh,
cartoon.
yeah.
Yeah. So.
Side note, did you hear the amazing news?
Yes.
Wait,
yeah.
what? I
Our
haven't-
friggin' buddy Noel is friggin' running She-Ra.
She's
They
the
are
showrunner
making a
for
new
She-Ra,
She-Ra
the
show,
animated series.
and Noel is doing it.
What?
Princess of Power.
Okay, that we're back on topic, but like,
What? That's amazing.
Yeah, that happened. That happened this week. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
How exciting.
What's the name of the guy who looks like Errol Flynn and like except in like wearing nothing but like half a shirt with a heart on it, and he's got a bow.
one of her supporting characters?
Yeah.
I
The
do not
Conquistador.
remember.
No, his name's
I
like,
don't know. It just came to my
His
head.
name's like Quiver or something. I gotta remember. It's great. Like, but he's like, oh God, I love that cast of characters. I'm very excited.
Yeah, that's very fun. All right, so the story here.
Sugar!
It is so funny. It is so funny. Superman is as dressed as Clark Kent is he's with Lois Lane and they're in the toy store. He gets assigned he gets this idea we've got to write an article in the paper and get a toy drive. Start a toy drive, and editor Perry White's like, "That's a great idea, Clark. I want you to start it." So as he's walking home, Superman walks by a brick wall. Clark Kent walks by a brick wall and just casually turns to it and goes, "I wonder what's going on in there." And he just straight up X-ray peeps through the wall. No reason, no impetus, no screaming, no being murdered. He's just like, doop-de-doop-de-doop, what's in there? And sure enough, inside the room is a rich, bratty kid yelling at his butler about, he's like, "I don't want this toy or that toy. I want a yacht or a speedboat." And the butler's like, "But these toys are from your father." He's like, "Oh, I've got too many toys." And Superman's like,
like
"I'm
your
going to have to
rich
teach
kid
this lad a lesson." What's that?
I like your rich kid voice.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
I love all the voices for this, which for once are not character voices. That's literally what the world sounded like.
Yeah, that's
in
just what the
year
world sounded like.
1940. So,
Well, I do good 40s
1940
voices,
awful children.
apparently.
Yeah, no, I'm into it.
So Superman's like, "I'm going to teach this boy a lesson." So he comes back at night, fucking kidnaps him, and then straight up Christmas presents him. And like Ghost of Christmas Present takes him to all these poor kids' windows and spies on them. He's like, look at poor Susie. All she's got is that little doll. And he's like, "But that doll's a trashy doll." Yeah.
Oh.
yes! Playing with a broken doll within the tenement.
"But that doll was broken. Why then was she having such a good time?"
Because that old toy means more to her than all your expensive playthings. She's grateful to have even that.
It's jumping Superman. It's not even flying Superman.
Yeah.
Boing.
Yeah. Like he was hanging from a windowsill. Like this is before the radio program and
before
everything.
he flew. Yeah.
So
Superman used to leap as opposed to fly.
yeah, it wasn't until the radio
Tall
show.
building,
yeah,
single bound.
right? Oh
Yep.
yeah. It's a boy crying of my own age. Inside they see Billy Connolly crying miserably to himself
Why was he crying?
because he has no toys at all to play with, not even a broken one.
They had so little, and I have so much. I never realized.
Well, I hope now that you realize how fortunate you are and how very unfortunate many other children of your age are. And then, boom, cut to the North Pole.
We'll put an end to all this Christmas foolishness. Oh my God.
A weird
An
rocket
odd
ship.
skyship slants downward towards Santa Claus's big toy factory.
It's not good. And by the way,
Yes.
doesn't crash into the toy factory, which is, if you really wanted to destroy Christmas, that's what you would do.
Yeah.
Apparently, they just land next to it.
Oh.
And
What's
then
their plan?
Mr. Meanie and Mr. Grouch, Mr. Grouch, I believe. Let me. Dr. Grouch.
Dr. Grouch.
So Dr. Grouch and Mr. Meanie.
We
Get
never
out.
enjoyed Christmas when we were children. Why should the kids of today have a good time?
Certainly. We'll talk Santa Claus out of this silly business of making and giving away toys.
As Grouch and Meanie enter the workshop, they are greeted by Santa himself.
I'm Dr. Grouch. I've always been interested in toys. Would you show my friend and me around?
The pleasure, gentlemen. If you will step this way, I'll show you the elves at work on the toys.
Superman toys, shirts, puzzles, crypto ray guns, belts, balloons.
Crypto ray guns
What's a crypto ray gun?
It's a kryptonite ray gun. Who knows?
for the
Yes.
kids.
You know, for kids.
For the kids. Yes, Superman novelties are very popular this year.
To come to the point, we believe your factories can have a better purpose than making toys for children.
All this labor and equipment going into a lot of foolishness. You could make commercial products, we can sell them. What a business we'd have.
Except of, oh
The
my
moral of this
God.
department store giveaway is that capitalism is evil. Tell us and live
There's
with
just
it.
an infinite loop of crazy here.
Yeah, I know. That's why I
oh.
pulled it.
We demand that you conform to our way of thinking or suffer the consequences. Well, what's your answer? This sounds like my parents.
That's how much
This is
persuasion you
my
put in.
answer. Give them the rush act, boys.
The elves chased the two pessimists, dirty pessimists, from Santa's workshop with pop guns and charged electric rods. Ew! What?
Ouch!
Just a slight case of shock. Bullseye. All right, so that happened.
There is so much happening here.
By the way, I want to point
Conform
out.
to our way of thinking.
Conform to our way of thinking. What say you, Santa? By the way, how many visitors does Santa get? In
Okay,
the
what's
North
up?
Pole, these two old men show up to his door, and he's like, "Well, of course I'll give you a tour. Come right on in.
You're the
I trust
75th
you."
today.
Yeah,
We have
I
a-
give
we have a
tours all
gift
the
shop.
time.
Yeah, this way to the gift shop.
Yeah, like so. They go running out. Lois Lane, inexplicably, in the spaceship, she followed him.
Sure.
She stowed away.
She's a really good reporter.
She's a great reporter. She was just with Clark
Tenacious.
Kent and Super, whatever. She's now on the ship.
I'll soon find out what they're up to.
Later, after they land the spaceship near Santa's workshop, Grouch's gas gun overcomes the elf on
Why
guard.
does he have a gas gun?
And why is he?
Nice work, Grouch.
Why are you gassing elves?
Now on to Santa's toy shop. Ah, all
Breaking
these
into
toys.
Santa's shop, Grouch and Meanie prepare to destroy the toys.
Ah, all these toys. Hate them.
Wait, I hear footsteps. We're being followed. It's that snooping girl reporter. I've got her. Let me go.
They take Lois Lane outside and tie her to a giant skyrocket.
I can't.
Do it. You have to.
I'm putting on the heat. This time it's goodbye and good
This
riddance.
time.
This time,
How many
apparently
times
this
has
has
she
happened
stopped
before.
them before? You monsters. You fiends. What better way is there to dispose of you than by shooting you into the heavens?
Oh, I don't know.
I ask you.
Any
A gas
other
gun?
way?
A
A
gas
gas
gun?
gun would have done
Did you
just
have?
fine.
Oh, so I couldn't really find many of the pages after that. So unfortunately, there's not much else
You
to
don't
read.
know how this ends?
No. I know how it ends, but
Okay.
like the entire middle of the comic was missing from
can
what I
also-
was looking at.
can
Yeah.
I just want to point out and say I perhaps am having a moment where I'm feeling a little bad for my feelings towards Superman Returns, the film, because I was not aware how canonically appropriate it is for Superman to just linger outside people's bedroom windows,
Yeah.
staring in
Hey,
at their
what's-
stuff awkwardly in a way that is
Yeah.
not appropriate.
What's going on in this thread?
Like I
walking
feel like
through
that was
town.
my big complaint in that movie. Is
Yeah.
like he kept floating outside people's homes, going, I'm like, oh.
no,
Apparently that's like
apparently it's a thing.
year one. I feel really
Yeah.
bad now.
Yeah, this is like 18
canonical
months
as
into
hell.
Superman. This is before he flew. Like, he's not even bulletproof at this point.
No,
Like,
he's just bouncing and
he's a gummy bear.
Kidnapping children.
kidnapping children and teaching them
and spying on them. Like, wonder what's going on in there. A rich little brat is what?
Superman is a dick, man.
Yeah. Okay. So here we go.
Hey, he's saving Christmas.
So Chief, can you go back up so we can see? Sorry. So this is the next page that I found. Apparently, Superman finds out what's going on. We don't know how.
Oh my God.
At least I don't know how. He goes off to help Santa.
And so,
Flies-
with the assistance of the mighty Superman, the annual Christmas Eve distribution of gifts by Santa takes place as scheduled.
Only Superman could perform this feat. If only the world could know the valuable service you've done.
I'm not interested in public acclamation. Just glad to be of service.
Oh, Superman.
As the sleigh soars over Grouch's house, the Man of Steel drops Meanie into the chimney.
Don't say we didn't give you anything, meanie. We are your life.
Oh, dang!
Now go join your friend.
Help!
As Minnie comes through the fireplace.
Meanie, what happened?
Superman did this. He foiled our plans.
Love this.
The girl reporter is still our captive. She's
no.
locked up in the next room. What?
Yeah.
We
Wait,
can
what
still have
happened
our
to the
revenge.
rocket to the moon thing? Wait, I hear footsteps outside. Hide and take your gas gun, Grouch.
Why, it's Santa and Superman in our room.
Here's our chance to get rid of both of them. We hate them, obviously.
Apparently.
You're
You're still going to leave them gifts despite all the harm they've done to you?
Yes, it's Christmas spirit to forgive your foes. I'm sure there is some good in both Grouch and Meanie.
Oh my God.
Yep.
This is amazing.
We heard what you said, Santa. After all we did to you, you're still leaving us Xmas presents?
I never thought people could be like that. They're the first presents we've ever got.
Aw.
If you'll shake my hand, I'll be the happiest man in the world.
We promise to be kind from now on. You've taught us plenty.
Oh, put her there. Merry Christmas, boys.
Grouch releases the captive Lois.
Lois.
Oh, well.
Meanie and I want to apologize to you.
No apologies are necessary.
What?
If
You
you've
were
got
strapped
the-
to a rocket.
If you've got the true Xmas spirit, I'm satisfied.
Lois
Can we not
joins-
say Christ in 1940? Is that a thing?
I will actually address that. in just a
Fantastic.
Lois joins in distributing the toys. The task completed. Santa is returned to the pole.
Merry Xmas, Santa.
Come again anytime.
After returning Lois to the planet building, Superman stops in at James Daniels' residence.
So that's the little boy. That's the little boy.
Why, James,
Still in the
where are
story.
you going?
I'm gonna have a swell time distributing toys. Know what I've learned? It's more fun to give than to receive.
The end. And then
I hope all of you readers will remember to be generous to those less fortunate than yourselves. And now, Merry Christmas to you, and a Happy New Year.
Guys, I think we can quit. I don't think they can do better than this.
Wow!
yeah.
That was,
Right.
I mean, that was great.
Right?
That was great.
It makes no sense.
Makes sense.
It is all over the
You
place.
shut up. The true spirit of kindness is something about rockets.
That is also such a good introduction to classic Superman of kind of the whole vibe.
Yeah.
It's really there.
It's all there. It's so good. It's
Cat in a
like
tree
the art is
Superman.
there and everything. It's great. And it's just nonsense. But who cares? And the fact it was free. It was meant to kind of like
It's
sell
literally
Superman
a department
toys, but like
store flyer, but it tells you that like making money off of a charitable enterprise is for chumps, and giving to those less fortunate than you is the true meaning of Christmas.
yeah.
Like,
Well, and it's important to remember that so much of what we consider to be like traditions of the holidays started because of department stores.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
and product placement. But like back, I mean, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is a department store creation.
Yep.
who? Why?
I would say it was
How?
Macy's. Was it Macy's who created Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer? I think.
Probably.
You can double
that
check
sounds
that.
like a
I'll
Macy's
wiki.
thing.
I'll wiki that. And then, of course, the red Santa suit is Coca-Cola. Things like that. I mean, like, there's weird little bits.
I don't know. I read Grant Morrison's Klaus, and the red and white
We
means
are going
something.
to talk about Grant Morrison's Klaus.
Before we get to that, let me throw out two things. I want to bring up a Batman comic from that same year, but before I do that, I want to address the X and Xmas.
The X and the Xmas.
In the Greek alphabet, Christ is spelled with a chi, and a chi is an X, and it's pronounced k. It's their k sound. And in ancient Christianity, going into the Middle Ages and stuff like that, there was a symbol called the Chi-Rho. And the Chi-Rho was an X with a P through it, but the P is a rho, and that's the R sound. So it's the first two letters in the Greek word for Christ, which is Christos. So the X is actually not an X. It's a key. It's a chi.
Should we be saying Chimus?
I don't know that it's actually supposed to be pronounced Xmas. I think when you see the X, it's shorthand
Christmas.
for Christmas.
It is shorthand for the same way that like ye old pub is technically not a ye. It's that Y is a shortening from early publisher types. It was a TH sound that was shortened into a Y, and it's a combination. So it should be the old pub, not ye old pub. It's technically the correct way to
What's
say
that
it.
letter called?
I don't remember.
I
Again,
can't
we can
remember,
Google it.
yeah.
But like this is the bullshit that.
Why was it only retained in signs?
I don't know. I don't know.
Was there any association of it being like inappropriate to write out the word Christ and somehow better to use the substitution, or was it
I
merely?
think maybe. I think maybe there was that. I
been
think
cheaper to
maybe
get
it could have
printed.
been a printing thing. It could have been a cheaper thing. I've never dug into the history that much.
I find it very attractive to see, so it might also just be an aesthetic choice because it is a very
entirely
aesthetically
possible,
attractive
yeah.
way to write Christmas.
Maybe there's something to be said for like it's a throwback to like the first 100 years of the church and everything. Where like it's actually kind of a fascinating history. The ichthus Christianity in its first 100 years was outlawed across the entirety of the Roman Empire, and if you were caught practicing Christianity, you were thrown to lions, you were burned, you were martyred in some capacity.
Sebastian, yeah.
Nero burning Rome, all that. Like so.
Good fiddle player.
Yeah, the ichthus, the symbol of the fish, was a call sign for this is a secret meeting place if you're a Christian. And then they started to use the Chi-Rho. So they weren't using a cross, they were using the ichthus and the Chi-Rho, and the Chi-Rho was the X and the P, but it's actually a CHR for us. Then Constantine had a vision from Jesus that if he wrote a Chi-Rho on the shields of all of his soldiers the night before a giant battle with one of his brothers for control of Rome, he would win the battle. So he's like, fuck it, let's give it a shot. So he goes to his generals and lieutenants and says, put the symbol, the Christian symbol on every single shield and we'll win the battle. The legend goes that he did it. They won the battle. Constantine took over control of Rome, made it the state religion, the religion of Rome. And that's when Christianity changed for better or worse, depending on what theologian.
I'm so glad you actually get to use this knowledge on occasion and drop it out into the world.
Yeah. So that's the X. That's where the X comes from. At least that's what I've always.
That's
Maybe I'm
fantastic.
incorrect,
It certainly seems like the thing. I'm curious as to when and where it got used in print as time went by.
Same.
but-
I actually don't know, but I've always been taught in anything that I've ever read is that's where it comes from. But I've never looked into the actual publication history. The history of its usage.
Well, and the lovely thing about history is that it is a lot of it is interpretation, and we take the myth that seems the most convincing and reasonable at the time and decide that that's actually what happened until we find something that contradicts it, which is a perfectly reasonable. Like once you're okay with that, you can like really delve and like and I love Christmas. Again, my family and myself, we're not particularly religious people, or when we are, it's technically classified as possibly a cult, depending on what state you're in.
Sentences you hear from Taliesin.
You've met my mother.
Your mother's wonderful.
I know, I love my mother, but
She is a beautiful soul.
she is a beautiful soul. But we were really into the Victorian pageantry of Christmas as
That
a
is
family.
not surprising.
No, like the pageantry of it, and my whole family has always been like we're big into pageantry, and so like knowing about the Dickensian origins of the modern Christmas is really fascinating, and how it was not really like super celebrated. It was just
Okay, I've heard, and this is a discussion for another time. It's not a comic book show, but like there are so many debunkings and counter debunkings surrounding Christmas traditions. I am so used to hearing the like, it was invented by the Victorians. No, it was invented by the department store. No, it was this. And then you go back and you're like, there's tons of things that reference different versions of winter or Christmas celebrations.
Sure.
And they all, like, all of the impressions I have of when and where they were prevalent and among whom contradict each other.
That's totally part of that. There's a couple things. I'll just cover a couple. That is Saint Nicholas, because Saint Nicholas got around. Because he was the patron saint of sailors, I believe. Is that Nicholas?
I
that's
don't
the same?
remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
They set him up everywhere.
Yeah,
Saint Nick got
I
everywhere.
feel like there
because
was a
sailor-
different saint for sailors.
It was Saint. I think it was
don't
Saint
remember.
Nick. Okay.
Chat, who's the
thank
saint
you.
of sailors?
I know. Someone fix this.
Maybe it is the St. Nicholas
It
medal.
sounded like
Yeah.
you were treating chat like Siri. Hey, chat. What's
Hey Siri. Is that there's just been a version of this forever, and we've had winter religions and winter
Well, yeah, there was,
Yule
like-
religions for Yule festivals for so long, and all of this has
Yep,
kind of
if you're in
gotten
the northern
absorbed.
hemisphere, winter's not your favorite time.
So a lot of people just mark the idea of modern Christmas starting with Charles Dickens. Like Charles Dickens sitting down and wanting to write something.
Yeah, but if Christmas didn't mean anything, calling your book A Christmas Carol wouldn't mean anything.
It meant something, but it didn't mean what it means today.
Okay.
Like, and his thing was Christmas should be about this. Because at the time, the Dickensian era, especially in England and in London specifically, there was a lot of negativity towards poverty. There was a very heavy push for the notion that if you were poor, it was because you had done something to deserve it.
Yeah.
And that human life had a very different value.
Proto-social Darwinism hadn't
There's
quite
so
arrived
many
yet, but-
dark things that people, the way
and
that
that,
people treated each other, and Charles Dickens was there's just no way to say it without sounding a little modern with this, was a crusader for social justice, is how I'll put it. And really put that into Christmas Carol was very much one of his big pushes to write something that would really capture people, and it did, and really get people excited about it in a new way. The same way that we now have like Harry Potter festivals because people love Harry Potter. Christmas Carol really got people invigorated about what was already a holiday, but it wasn't a celebration of giving and charity and he really pushed the ideas this was what it should be about.
Well, and a lot of the stuff that you're talking about, if I remember my church history correctly, is coming somewhat out of Calvinistic thought, where like you're predestined. There's like this element of like you've been predestined to not be one of the chosen ones of the Lord, and that probably means you're going to be poor. So people who are poor by the were viewed by the less informed.
It's the classic.
As, oh, well, you're not a chosen one of God because you're poor.
The classic philosophical dilemma of either life is really unfair or you did something to deserve being miserable, and neither of those are great options.
Yeah, Dr. Doom has an opinion. That's all I know. If you want to read a comic book that has a really fascinating look at Victorian life, by the way, and the terrible, I find From Hell is a great
I need to read
that is
From
on my
Hell.
historical. It's a dark, heavy book, but if you want to just see like just how terrible people can be to each other, don't read it for Christmas. Read it after. It's so dark. There's pages of human mutilation, but it's
Happy holidays!
Happy holidays.
Alan Moore, everybody.
Alan Moore's From Hell. Happy holidays.
So real quick, I want to Batman.
Sorry.
I believe it maybe came a year later, maybe 1941.
Oh my God.
This particular comic that I'm referencing. In that comic, Batman and Robin kidnapped a kid.
It's the January 1945. You put it in our account, and I read it this morning.
Yeah? You know what I'm talking about, right?
I believe it's like 26, 27.
I think so,
It
yeah.
looked like it was the winter of 1944, 1945.
Oh, so it was a couple years later. Okay, great.
Wow.
Yeah.
But absolutely, kidnapping children is the true spirit of Christmas.
Yeah, apparently.
Is there's a kid at the bottom of the bag? Is that what you're saying?
Yes!
Yeah, Santa's dragging a child in the bag, yeah.
How very Krampus of him.
Yeah, Batman and Robin,
Okay, I mean, this story's
go for it.
amazing. If
Go
you thought
for
that
it.
the last one had conflicted feelings about the structures of capitalism, this story is about breaking up a ring of price fixers that are forcing independent Christmas tree merchants in the city to rip people off.
Those bastards.
But there are 3 different levels of organization to this, at the ostensible top of which is a spoiled little boy, who, by the way, like, totally in the background of this story is that the spoiled little boy's uncle has just died, leaving him a giant inheritance, and his uncle taught him to be penny pinching and not care about other people.
Like they called him Old Scrooge, and he's now Young Scrooge.
It's like, I'm proud to be Young Scrooge. His name is Scranton Loring, so the poor kid didn't have a chance.
Scranton Loring.
Yep.
This is reminding me so much of, like, a lot of these are reminding me of, like, the last Matt Smith Doctor Who Christmas special, which was one of my favorites.
It's incredible. The Santa-looking guy up there is his nice uncle, who's just arrived to, like, be his guardian. Weirdly, this is a story about a kid left alone with bad guardians after a tragedy, and no one makes any reference to that in this, like, while Batman and Robin intervene in his life.
Yeah.
But like, it's absolutely like, it's like a crazy what if of if Alfred was a jerk, because spoilers for this story, the butler who's taking care of the kid is the middle step of organization who's gotten the mobsters to back him up and enforce this protection racket thing of forcing everyone. All these mom and pop shops, they're like burning down the like street stands of the Christmas tree vendors of this town. Oh man,
I won't buy you this.
While others throw their money away, I'm making $250,000 by cornering all Christmas trees in town and quadrupling prices. Shrewd, eh?
Shrewd, it's incredible.
I don't know why. Never mind. We're not going back to that.
This is the kid who gets kidnapped, and you see his nice uncle thought he'd be a nice surprise, like, I'll come dressed as Santa, and the kid's like, get out of here, uncle.
He's like,
you're ridiculous.
GTFO, I hate you.
So when the kid
Take
gets
that beard
kidnapped,
off, and he's like, I grew this just for you.
When the kid gets kidnapped, that's his uncle that you see going, I don't know what's happening here, but I'm strangely okay with it.
But I'm strangely okay with it. Yeah, his uncle's like, yeah, this probably needs to happen. Yeah, this should happen.
Should we slow down and look at pages of this? I got really excited and just...
No, of course.
Because if they're in there...
I think that some of them are in there. I know I pulled a few, but like I didn't want to overwhelm Chief with like 100 million images, so... I focus more on the Superman one because that one like was fascinating. I will say that I do know that I pulled a picture from the last page of that where it's, I believe, the Bat plane as Santa's sleigh.
Gotta get those toys out somehow.
Yep, Chief, I believe that that's in there. I can't remember what I titled it.
Bat plane.
There we go.
Oh my God, it's the good
There
Bat
we go.
plane. Oh, they lit it up too.
Uncle Tim.
How does it fly with a wreath on the tail? Oh my God, it's so awesome. And it's in London.
As midnight chimes and announce the birth of Christmas Day.
There's Big Ben. No, is that like?
I think it's just generic city.
I think that's just like the Chrysler building with a Big Ben clock on it.
Look at the face on the front of the Bat plane.
Oh man.
Amazing.
Wait for me. Less noise. They'll hear us. Take it easy, Uncle Tim. So this is when they have gotten through to the kid by showing him all the victims of the small businesses that have been had their lives destroyed by his scheme.
His racket.
Got tricked into participating in. As if by miracle, a dreary slum dwelling is transformed into a place of joy. I don't know how they got that giant tree in there.
Why didn't anybody ever tell me it was fun doing things for others?
Gee, we were afraid you wouldn't find us this year, Santa.
Bless you.
Later in the hospital, where famous doctors have led Joe Meeker out of the shadow of death.
The shop owner that his goons beat nearly to death. The kid personally walked into the hospital and was like, get him the best doctors, do whatever he wants. So it's a weirdly like...
Christmas Carol-y.
Good thing you know someone rich, Joe Meeker. It's the same person who nearly killed you, but it all works out great. You're gonna get well, Joe. And Santa Claus has bought us a new and better store.
It's the happiest Christmas we've ever had after all.
Don't be ashamed of bawling. I feel like myself.
And the Loring mansion is no longer gloomy.
We didn't save a single present for Scranton.
Why, I've just been given the finest present on earth, something all my fortune couldn't buy. I've learned the secret of real happiness. I'm going to devote my time and money to spreading cheer the year round. And I only wish everyone could know how much fun I'm going to have.
Let's tell the world about it, shall we?
Look at him breaking that fourth wall.
Oh no! Oh God, they found the hole in the 11th dimension.
Greetings to one and all from Uncle Tim.
And from young Scrooge Loring, who won't be known by that name any longer.
And Robin.
And a Merry Christmas, everyone, from Batman.
That just looks like Adam West Batman to me.
Yeah, it does. It totally does. It totally does.
Oh, bravo, bravo.
And if you'd heard what the butt the kid was at the beginning,
Oh,
you'd
he was a
really
total
appreciate
butt. I'm
this
sure,
turnaround.
I'm like-
Total butt. So yeah, those are the two things that I wanted to start with because I found them fascinating. But what do you guys want to talk about?
Did you also find out while you were reading those, which I just found out, that those old issues all have little Adventures of Alfred shorts in them?
Yes.
They're amazing.
I didn't know that. I felt like a terrible comic book fan that I
Me
didn't
too.
know.
Alfred's
Like,
just
The
out there
Adventures of Alfred.
accidentally solving crimes.
I remember he used to have superpowers briefly. He was the eagle for a while, and like some of that stuff I've seen reprinted. But like,
This
it seems
was
just like
just
being Alfred.
Goofy nonsense about
Yeah.
how he goes to buy them vegetables at like a fair because he's going to cook them a
Yeah.
nice dinner, but then he accidentally ends up intervening in a robbery, and it's incredible.
Alfred is the Agent Coulson of the DC universe. He
Well,
brings it all together.
Of the early 40s.
The early
DC
40s
universe,
DC universe. he's keeping like stores from being robbed and fighting crime.
All accidentally.
All
yeah.
accidentally
But he's
with an
doing it all
umbrella.
haplessly. It was beautiful.
Oh
yeah,
my God.
It was. Yeah, I had no idea. I was like, because like that Christmas story that we just read was the backstory of like 4 stories in the Batman comics. Because I'd forgotten like in those
Back
days.
in the
like,
day, they were a value.
Yeah, they were writing like 3 or 4 stories in every single issue, and they've got a big Christmas cover. Only one of those stories dealt with Christmas. Like the other 3 were Batman and Robin being Batman. Like there was one about like Penguin solving like.
I didn't read that one.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Man, you
I
guys,
can't
yeah, I'm
remember
glad we
which
all
one it
had
was.
different stuff this week.
But Batman found out about Penguin, but like Penguin was like reformed, and he's like, I don't trust this Oswald.
Say the word penguin again.
Penguin. Am I saying it wrong?
Well, now you're saying it normal.
Penguin? How was I
Yeah.
saying it?
What's penguin?
Penguin.
Penguin. Am I saying-
I think that might be a
Penguin?
different word, but like a far more interesting word, like a real like penguin.
Penguin.
I don't know. It's like Will Wheaton. It's one of those.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton. Listen, I was raised in Texas, and every once in a while.
Do
in
they
this
have
pronunciation-
penguins in Texas?
I guess they do.
But they do have penguins.
They also have penguins.
Do they have either of those things in Texas?
Yes. No, they don't. Come back and talk to me when I can finally pronounce Vox Machina. Am I saying it correctly still? No? Never?
Sure. There's no wrong way to say.
I've
Vox Machina.
never, listen, every single time I say it in
That's
this
a
off,
challenge.
Yeah, it really is a wrong way to say it. It's Vox Machina.
yeah,
It's how we say
I say
it.
Vox
Technically, my
Machina.
name has like 5 pronunciations, and I literally take the
Percy?
worst one. Taliesin. Should be Taliesin, but I don't do it now.
Persei.
Because that just sounds like I'm in trouble.
Persei, Geraldo.
Persei.
Persei with an X.
DeRoyo.
Persei.
Arroyo. It must be the pretzels. I know I brought up Alan Moore as a terrible book to read for Christmas. It was
Sure.
From Hell.
Are
From
you going to
Hell-
make it up to us?
I am, because From Hell is a terrible book to read for Christmas. Don't read it for Christmas. It's a great comic book. Read it when you're ready to be really upset. It's so dark, but great liner notes. If you're into liner notes, it is like the most liner noted book I've ever read.
I think they're called footnotes when it's a book.
Oh, that's fair. God damn it. Yes, footnotes. Thank you.
Hang girl.
But the Superman Annual, Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons, Superman Annual, and I'm trying to, what's the great name of this book? It's a classic for the man who has everything.
Yeah.
Which is about the most horrifying thing I can think of, which is trying to shop for Superman.
Yeah.
What do you get Superman for Christmas? He's just wants nothing. Other than like, what is it? Which one's the kryptonite that can make you like trip balls? I don't know. Like, there's hallucinogenic kryptonite. So you can
Rainbow kryptonite?
Yeah, like the was that the purple kryptonite or
LSD
all the kryptonites
rainbow
do something
kryptonite?
different.
I don't
so
know.
I'm sure that one of them has a positive effect.
Chad.
But basically they get him rainbow kryptonite, which is
Do they really?
well, he gets
No.
sent a flower. It's
Oh, yes.
it's an alien flower.
I was like, wait, I don't remember this at all, but okay.
That he gets as a Christmas gift that puts him into a trance, and they don't know how to disengage Superman from this flowered trance. That makes him hallucinate his fondest desires, which is being back on Krypton with his real family. And Batman, Robin, and Wonder Woman have to try and
Think clean thoughts, chum.
is
that this one?
Yeah, it's the have to try and save him. And as he is like having his thought of like being a scientist on Krypton and being a normal person, and there's like religious fanatics on Krypton, and you know they finally save him and get and save him from the plant. But then you find out like what
Beautiful
Batman
story.
and Wonder Woman get Superman for Christmas, which is really cool. Where is it? It's at the very end, after he wakes up and saves himself. And I don't want to spoil the joke, but I believe I can't find it. I believe Batman gets him names a strain of rose after Superman, if I recall.
Oh man, I can't remember.
And Wonder Woman gets him a toy replica, a very expensive.
Of Superman?
No, of the bottled city of Kandor.
A toy replica of the.
She gets a
bottled
very
city of
expensive,
Kandor?
like Studio FX, like quantum FX bottle, like you got me.
Aww. So I got you Wonder Woman's gift.
Yeah, and there's some really fun jokes and lots of wonderful Christmas cheer. Everyone, it's a happy ending for everybody. Oh yeah,
pretty much.
Jason and I brought you this new breed of rose named the Krypton.
But
Aw.
well,
I'm afraid it got stepped on, and well, frankly, it's dead.
Batman.
Batman.
Yeah, I'm trying to. What is the plant called? Is black?
Narcissus?
Maybe like what is this called?
This plant or a different plant?
The plant that's on his chest.
Yeah, because it comes up again later. I don't
Yeah,
remember,
and it's
but like.
from. Why am I forgetting the
We're a
villain's
little-
name?
Oh yeah. We also
The
I
villain
suppose
who put it on him. I'm
while
trying
we're
to
looking
remember.
Mogul.
Mogul. Thank
Mongol,
you.
Mongol, Mogul?
Jeez. Oh my God. Couldn't remember.
We should probably, if you have things you want to watch us try and talk about for 5 minutes, you should start suggesting things. in
Send
chat.
topics, please.
Send
They don't have to be
topics.
holiday, whatever.
They can be whatever you like.
Yeah, whatever you want us to talk
we're
about.
down.
So I believe, yeah. What? The weirder the better.
The weirder the
Liz
better.
insists on adding. Just because she wants to see it mess with us. So I think it's a birthday for him, but this is a perfect one for all like special occasions. Really.
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah,
adapted a
it's-
few times in different forms now. They
Yeah,
did
Supergirl did it. I think
Supergirl
in her
did it?
second season. Yeah.
I think one of the Justice League animated shows did a version of it.
Oh, that's right.
But the original story really, really holds up.
And it's beautiful art. It's that beautiful Dave Gibbons art, so it's got that Watchmen vibe, and it's so.
He's just good.
Yeah.
He's real good at stories.
Yeah, and he knows how to make people look sad in a very specific way which is good for this kind of story to be able to express sadness in a face, which is not as easy as you'd think. And it reads very well. Oh God, so beautiful.
This has one of my favorite Superman moments in it, and it's this one right here. Like it's one of the. It's one of
Oh
those
my
times-
God, it's so
It's one
beautiful.
of those times where you see Superman in his full, like, terrifying, like, what rage on Superman can look like. It's right here. They finally free him from. They finally free him from the. God, I can't remember the whatever it is. And he says, "Who did this to me?" And then screams out and immediately races away. Sorry, Chief. And races right for him. Takes off and goes and just beats the living kryptonite out of Mongol.
Yeah.
The effect they choose there, where he shouts the name and the words are distorted, or like the letters are distorted
Yeah.
around him, is such a wonderful comic book visual way to express this idea.
Yeah. Look at that. Isn't that great?
They don't have a close-up there. They can't just invent close-ups in different places. Maybe you
Oh
can.
God, look at that.
Yeah.
So cool. And then you
Robin
see him,
half
like,
out of frame there, like.
running off. Yeah. So yeah, it's like such a great Superman moment. Like, what a great story. Wish I could remember the name of that flower.
Is it the Black Narcissus?
I
or
think
is
it's
it
the Black
something else?
Narcissus. I know I hopped out of it.
I know.
so.
I think black is in it. But yeah. Anyway.
Narcissuses are good.
What else do we want to? So there's the Lobo Christmas
I
special.
reread.
I have not read this. Somebody tweeted at us about it. Please tell me about this.
I read
Mercy.
it. I read
Lobo
it back
comic.
when it came out because that was my introduction to Lobo. Was the
Really?
Lobo Christmas special? Because Lobo's
It's like
not,
paramilitary Christmas something?
Lobo
Well-
paramilitary Christmas special.
if you really enjoy the Punisher, this is the book for you.
Oh,
the
man.
Easter Bunny takes a hit out on Santa Claus.
Because Santa's got all the holiday action.
So the Easter Bunny hires Lobo to bump Santa Claus off.
Well, the Easter Bunny on behalf of other holiday spirits. Like they've all conspired and they want to take out Santa.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Lobo lands this contract.
Lobo. Well, of course he lands the contract.
Well, who else are you gonna hire
Yeah. Who else are you gonna hire?
to take out Santa Claus?
And if you can find him, you can call the A-Team or Lobo. You can call Lobo.
And it's yeah, I mean,
my
and like
God.
Santa Claus is basically
Yeah.
something between
Ooh,
a mob
who
boss
drew
and
this?
a
Yeah.
Kirby.
Yeah, I
It's
can't
beautiful.
remember who drew it. I can find it real quick. I've got it.
Here,
I've
I'll
got
put
it
this. I'll
too.
put this up so you can. So if you're really not in the mood to
And I know I pulled
There
some
we
of
are.
these images, Chief. I just don't know if I labeled them very well. I think it should just be called Lobo.
if you're having a tough holiday and you really want to like see Lobo and Santa Claus fight it out, there we go, and things get a
Wow.
little weird.
Yeah. So Lobo decapitates Santa
Wow.
and then steals all of Santa Claus's armaments because Santa Claus is actually like a military dictator in the North Pole.
That's a lot of H-bombs.
And then he finds the naughty list and takes them all out. Like Lobo sees the nice and naughty list and he's like, well, all these naughty people need to be taken care of, so here we go.
I specifically remember, like, I have a very early memory.
Ho ho frag and ho.
Ho ho frag
Yep.
and ho. I remember the knife fight between Lobo and Santa Claus, including Lobo punching Santa Claus so hard that his eye becomes
his eye
dislodged.
comes out, yep.
And Santa Claus yelling, that is it. Die, you naughty bastard. I mean, like, it's ridiculous. Like, if
Yeah,
you have to
there's-
understand what you're getting. Lobo, for those of you who don't know, Lobo
Yeah,
is
please, because I'm actually not. I
Lobo
read a
is-
couple of comics when I was a kid and was like, this isn't.
Lobo
this
is the
not my guy.
Deadpool of the DC universe.
Yeah.
He breaks the fourth wall. He's kind of the cigar chomping, like obviously over-characterized hitman from like Space Hitman, who's immortal,
I was
invulnerable.
never super clear, like, is he a parody or is he just self-parody or is he accidentally close enough to parody?
Yes.
Okay.
It depends on who's writing him. Like he's a joke that not everybody gets, including some of the people who write him.
That's a really good way of putting that.
Yeah. So if you like, some people like, there's a famous book of his contract on Gad, where there's a planet that is ruled over by some sort of spiritual like lord, and he has to go kill the deity that runs this planet because everyone's sick of living under it. It goes really poorly.
So some year we have to read
Gad.
Some year we have to read Will Eisner's A Contract with God.
With God.
And follow it up with Lobo's A Contract on Gad. And then our third, even stranger one.
Yeah, at one point, just to show how awful this Gad is, one of the priests at one point just says something mean and just immediately gets hit by lightning. It's very Lobo. If you can take him not too seriously, is fun. Is very fun ultra violence.
And has attracted some really distinguished artits.
Yes, and
A lot of Simon Bisley.
There's a very heavy metal
Well,
vibe
Simon
to
Bisley's the one who did this.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Bisley.
And written by Keith Giffen.
Space Biker Bounty Hunter. That's a good. Yeah, that you assume is played by Rob Perlman.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Although-
Star Pilot.
Many people have now pointed out that Jason Momoa just literally looks exactly like
Oh
him.
yeah,
Which you can't unsee.
He would be the most amazing Lobo. Yeah. The cover in fact says, "Warning, contains bad taste in the form of ultra violence, icon bashing, and the finger, more offensive than Christmas usually is."
Okay.
I'm
glad that they're like, we can't assume it's never been this bad, but yeah, as a
Yeah.
general rule.
Santa lives in a like military fortress.
He's got a giant ape roommate.
Oh, yeah,
not
named
even
Kong.
sidekick. Yeah, Kong's
Yep.
a roommate.
Yep, he's a roommate. Yeah, there's the eye out.
Oh yeah, there's the. Oh man, I'm sorry you all had to see that, but it's beautiful.
It is ultra violent and
I can't really complain about
Yeah.
it because I listened to the Weird Al song the night Santa went crazy,
Oh, I
like maybe
know.
10 million times.
I'm more of a fan of Christmas at Ground Zero when it comes to his canon.
my
I don't think I know that one.
Oh wow, yeah. Go when you have a chance to hit Spotify for Weird Al Yankovic's song about post-apocalyptic Santa Christmas.
I love you both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
Chief, did you
Christmas
want to
at
come in
Ground
and tell
Zero.
us all
The button
about
has been
Gwenpool?
pressed. The radio just let us know that this is not a test.
Is Chief coming on the show today?
Chief is going to come on
Are
the
we
show
getting
super
Yay!
duper fast because he read the Gwenpool Christmas special, which I
Oh
haven't
my God, which I
read.
haven't gotten to read yet. I'm so excited.
It's
The
on
one
our
from
pull
last year?
list. I don't know. Is it the one from last year, Chief?
Oh my God. Yeah, Gwenpool is one of my
Is
new
it the
favorite things.
She-Hulk office party?
That was such a good book. I forgot
What?
about that.
Come on the show.
Come on the show, Chief.
Chief has to. He's running our show. He's got to.
I assume the cameras will magically take care of themselves. In that way, we always assume they do anyway.
Thank you, Selena.
Selena says they will.
Selena has put up with so much of my shit in the last 72 hours. Oh, can't even begin.
Yeah. So while we're waiting, let me.
One more
see.
classic I want to throw on the list that I
Yo,
did not
do
bring
it.
with me. It's either Donald Duck or Uncle Scrooge, but A Christmas for Shacktown is one of the actually most
know
wonderful
that one.
Christmas stories I've ever
Really?
read. And it essentially is about the miserable poor people of Duckburg, or whatever they're calling Duckburg, and the
Duckburgians.
I need to
Some of
reread it because there may be a name for the town that I'm forgetting right now, but it has a bad area because these comics were pretty realistic about the mixed state of the world, and it's a beautiful, beautiful story.
Duckhaven.
It's Chief.
Chief,
Yay!
welcome!
Christmas Chief.
yeah.
Tell us about Gwenpool.
Well, it was in Gwenpool, but I don't even think she was involved in the story that sticks out in my brain.
Oh, very Gwenpool.
But it was Miles Morales. All the heroes have taken off for the holiday, except for Miles. He's still swinging around the city, but it's this alternate universe where everything's gone crazy and the Red Skull has gotten all the different bad organizations to work together, but they're not allowed to say Hail Hydra anymore. They have to say Hail Hatred because corporate told them that it's more. We don't want to offend
more
any.
on
We
brand.
don't want to offend any of the other organizations.
Aim was mad, so you have
So
to
it's
say
Hail
Hail
Hatred.
Hatred.
But it's so insane because then they have Galactus, bringer of gifts, and Selena, that's if you take the.
What?
It's a giant golden
Galactus, holy
Galactus
smokes, you're
who's a
real?
good guy.
Wait, at the bottom, see, who's saying no, not
So
again?
it's just Miles Morales trying to take on
Please let it be Thanos.
Thanos,
no, it's MODOK.
Thanos, MODOK, and the Red Skull.
Who's the tool?
But this after he defeats Fing Fang Foom, who's
Of
taken
course.
advantage of everyone taking the day off to attack New York City. Which he
can't
learned
do it.
Beautiful.
about everything about New York City through song. It's beautiful. But I just love the idea that they don't know that Galactus is real. He's basically become Santa Claus.
Oh my
This is
God.
incredible.
So people go see a little Galactus at the food court in a mall.
I need to read this. I haven't read this one.
It's
Yeah.
in
So
it's in
amazing.
Gwenpool the Collected Trade Paperback Volume 2. There's there's 3
Oh.
Christmas stories at the back.
Oh my
and
God.
it's just
My
insane.
Christmas break is so many comic books.
So
This
many
is so
comics.
exciting.
It's so many
just
comics.
insane. I don't even know what it's because I read this in July when I found Gwenpool for the first time. I just speed read through all this, and it's just what is happening?
What is happening?
All these Christmas
all,
books.
all I can think now is that there is an evil organization called Hate, and so it was Hate was somehow better than
Next week, Agents of Hate.
Yeah, it was
Agents
Agents
of
of
Hate?
Hate. Dirk
Yeah.
Anger and the Agents of Hate
Yeah.
was with the evil shield. Somehow they're Hail Hatred, and I'm just thinking of Agents of Hate.
They're just trying to be nice to everybody.
And I think that
Everybody
So there was
hates
also
together.
it might be a different one, or it's possible that I only read part of it, but there was a Gwenpool holiday special, which was a sneaky, right after the Charles Soule She-Hulk run ended, there was a holiday special that was bookended by essentially an office party thrown by the space where Jennifer Walters was renting her law firm space, and Patsy Walker, whose series hadn't started yet, was going to be working out of there, or it was right in that a year or two back.
That was my introduction to Gwenpool. Was that book? So.
And so it told these framing stories of because she was super not invited to the party because
No,
she's a
and
psycho.
That's
So
right.
she was
That
offended.
was the Gwen. They published it as Gwenpool Zero.
Yes.
Okay. So it featured, that was one of the first things with her that I had read where she's sort of wandering around making trouble, but you get a couple of different Christmas stories about people trying to get to this party.
It's
all
of it's so
they
silly.
all interact at the party and all the little stories come together. That was a really good book. That was the first time I had seen Gwenpool as anything other than some internet meme that I thought people had gotten into.
By the
I
way,
was
she's
so
not
confused by it,
Spider-Gwen and
yeah.
she's not Deadpool.
She's not. She's great.
It's not
great.
not the Gwen Stacy at all.
No.
Which I think is what you need to get over because I thought it was just a weird Gwen Stacy
Everybody did.
Yeah.
mashup with Deadpool. I'm I don't
I
have
was
time
is
for
Gwenning
this.
things now a thing, or do we just Gwen things?
Well,
now?
it is. They did a whole series of variant covers that was just what if Gwen Stacy was blank.
And okay. So, and I was literally here for this and have forgotten all of it. But I think that's where she came from, one of those visuals, and then they decided to just make her own character and have it be a totally different thing. And Christopher Hastings started doing those backup
Sounds
stories
right.
in the back of Howard the Duck.
And that's, I mean, like, and that's, she's such a good Howard the Duck character too. She's such a, and that's, and like the Spider-Gwen costume had a similar origin where it was I remember that showing
That
up on
was-
Project Rooftop.
I don't know what Project Rooftop is.
Project Rooftop, it's not, I don't think it's really around anymore, but it was one of my favorite blogs for a while, and it was a live journal. Oh, Lord, just aged another year, where people would they would post redesigns, costume designs of independent artists, like taking on Batman. Here's 15 takes on Batman, or 15 takes on redesigning Superman, and sometimes they would be like, next month we're doing Robin. So send us your Robins. We're going to pick our 7 favorite, and we're all going to write a paragraph. All of the people who run the blog are going to run a paragraph about what we like about what you did, about like our top 5 favorites. And all of that's still online. And I think I feel like the Spider-Gwen was one of those, because I remember her showing up like 2 years before.
Really?
Maybe but she was definitely talked about a lot on there, where like, this is how you redesign a character.
Interesting.
Like completely different, but somehow still reminiscent.
I only saw that design when they announced like the one in association with her Ultimate comic appearance,
Yeah.
which was supposed to be a one-off. But it could have been that they had that design kicking around. I don't know.
There's some. I'm gonna, if you get a chance, anybody go
Project
and find
Rooftop.
Project Rooftop, and it's such a delight. Oh, just reams of costume designs. Oh, the best stuff. Yeah, I highly recommend it. So.
But yeah, read Gwenpool, because
Read
especially
Gwenpool.
if you're a comics nerd, it's like the funniest thing ever.
So her-
'cause it's
her story-
super tongue-in-cheek.
Her story ends up being that she's from
She's from the real universe, like she's from our universe.
what DC would call Universe Prime, or would have called in the 90s, but
Well, yeah, what do we call our universe in Marvel again? It's got like the
believe-
412, or no? It's a
Is it 14,
I've never learned.
12?
1412.
Or
It's not, because
I think
616 is
I think the cinematic universe is 99999.
999.
Cinematic is 199,999.
Is that what it is? Okay.
And then main
got
universe is
nines in it.
616. Ultimate was 1610.
There's a.
It's not 1, because 1 is like
the lonely
Yeah.
number.
I can't remember. But it
1 was
a
like
longer
where
number.
all the bad guys in Spider-Verse were at Universe 1.
There's a.
What, like Morlun and all those guys?
Yeah.
There's a issue of Young Avengers where they have the passport stamps of all the when they're doing
yes.
and they have all the universe designations there, and like really and like the Marvel Cinematic one actually is like a ticket stub, is please retain your ticket.
We
And
were
there's a lot of
supposed to-
in-jokes in that.
we were supposed to stop using 616 after Secret Wars, but nobody did.
No one ever will.
Because we still need to be able to talk about things, and we
recently, too.
just assigned it informally to the universe that continued to exist after Secret Wars.
They made a major it's so blatant it shouldn't be called an Easter egg on Shield, Agents of Shield.
Yes, 616. That's where I heard it.
They were like space object 616,
And my nerd brain went.
which I'm like, that was also the call sign of your main
Agents
plane
of Shield, by the
for
way, this season
years.
has been amazing. Just saying.
I've only seen the first episode. I've only
I
seen
have
the season
feelings on it.
I love the space.
That's not
I
surprising
love the
at all.
Kree. They're terrible.
They moved them so far into the future that nothing has consequence.
Which
Don't spoil anything.
It's what gives the show its freedom now, is it doesn't have to tie into anything. It can just be dumb and like it doesn't matter. It's so good. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah,
Yes,
I need
there
to
is
catch
no
up.
consequence anymore to the real Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Are they the Agents of Sword now?
No. They made no.
It's so nice to have you on the couch.
No, I don't think they have the rights. There's some nonsense.
Sword might own.
Does anyone understand the rights thing? Can
Sword first appeared, I believe, in the X-Men, which
It
means
did.
that X-Men own it.
But
all
Abigail
kinds of things
Brand
appeared
was
in all kinds of
Which
places?
means
But
that
we
Disney will
determ-
have it next year.
by tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
But it was determined that Abigail Brand technically can be used by either, I think.
Yeah, Quicksilver's in both. Let's not pretend any of this makes sense.
Part of it, though, was making sure that Quicksilver wasn't a mutant.
I know.
Yeah, it doesn't
Doesn't make it
sense.
make sense.
It doesn't
Oh,
make
my
sense,
head.
but there are. I think, but yeah, it is weird. But no, they went into the future, so there's no. They're just on like the Kree have basically taken Earth. It's great.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, it's bad.
Gwenpool holiday
man.
specials.
Yeah.
One of those old Batman stories was also amazing. I got distracted doing research this week.
Good.
It was
That's
in
awesome.
one of them, and it was Batman and Robin of the year 3000.
I didn't see that one.
But it's in this book from 1944, 1945, and it is like literally Earth has established peace, which makes them vulnerable to invasion by from Saturn. And the leader's name, I'm just going to spell it out for you because I don't know how to say this in a tasteful way. The horrible, domineering leader who puts everyone in concentration camps when he gets there is called F-U-R-A.
F-U-R-A.
Yeah.
So they're fighting him and his various servants. Don't gift that. That was the gesture that they're making. Ugh, the internet is dangerous.
They're
yeah.
very, very unsubtly making a Nazi comparison.
Yeah. So Batman and Robin inspire the people of the future to stand up for freedom. And it was just amazingly like anyone who wants to complain about comics getting political can call 1944.
I was gonna say, like, if any, like anytime someone says that, I'm like, it's like, what have you been reading?
Have you seen Captain America #1
Have you
where he
seen
hits
most
Hitler?
of Superman ever? Yeah, it's a thing.
Well, and then there's 1999, I believe, the Paul Dini, Alex Ross Superman piece. What?
God, I
wrote it
love.
down.
Oh man, Dini
I
rocks
pulled
my
I
world.
pulled some of that stuff.
Thank you for pulling me in, guys.
Man,
Thanks for joining us.
Happy Christmas.
Absurd
and
thing.
man, it's so.
Don't worry, I'm not going far. I'm going to be like
you're gonna
10
rewrite
feet
it.
that
Chief,
way.
ladies and gentlemen, round of applause.
Yay!
Digital applause.
Digital
from our
applause.
audience. Digital applause.
I don't know what digital applause sounds like, but
Yeah.
click, 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 click,
Click, click, click, click, click. I don't.
A modem noise?
Yep.
Okay.
like the opening of a Cranberry song.
That's all I've got. Amy, don't. That's all
Cannonball.
I've got.
I'm just terrified because I tried to explain a gesture on the air visually, and now I'm like,
I feel bad. I
Please
feel
kill
bad
me.
anytime I'm like on stage and I can't see anybody, and I try and like look out into the crowd. I'm like, please don't gift that into something it isn't.
Yeah.
It's just really hard to see in these lights.
The lights of Broadway. Tell us about Klaus.
what is this?
This
I've read the first. I've read the first comic. I haven't read the.
I think I'm halfway through.
Yeah, I'm about halfway through too. I haven't finished it yet. I'm taking
That's
my
a
time.
beautiful hardcover, by the way.
This was actually, I believe that I think it's possible. I'm talking out of turn because I don't entirely remember. I think this happened because I'm pretty sure they were showing us books that had been printed by the people who ended up printing the Critical Role art book.
Nice.
So they're like, here's a Klaus. Mine. So
What is this book?
Grant Morrison,
Who's that?
he's my one of the 4 people I wish to be when I grow up. And the person who proved to everyone that you don't need hair to be cool. Has done the gritty, dark, violent reboot of the origin of Santa Claus that we've all been clamoring for.
Yep, I believe you all wrote letters demanding this.
Demanding a dark, edgy, like I'll say that this is something that I feel like DC should really make into a film. Here's a DC film.
I want to watch the. hell
Okay,
out of
but
that movie.
everyone had told me that this was edgy and violent, and I'm reading it, and it's just a beautiful fantasy epic.
It is. I'm going to say it's edgy and violent when you think of the notion of a Santa Claus story.
Yeah.
But it's not from hell or anything. It is kind of a origin of kind of a Nordic Viking Santa Claus. He's just kind of a pelt trainer.
Show that.
Here's Klaus.
Dan Mora, the artist
Oh,
here.
there we are. Look at that.
Yeah.
There's something.
I mean, he is covered in blood. I guess I will admit that.
Okay,
but
I gotta
it's
admit-
animal blood from animals that he killed.
Yeah.
I want to see Joe Manganiello play Klaus. Joe, play Santa Claus. I would love to see
Oh,
he's
that's
watching
dead
this.
on.
I will
What?
Dead on.
I will let him know. I will let him know that he needs
Actually,
to do this now.
you can't really make that joke because he actually.
I
very
can't
well
make
might
that
be.
joke. We know people who know him.
I will let him know later. That I will. Actually, I may give him this book for Christmas.
But the
God.
only interaction I've ever had with him was at Matt and Marisha's wedding when he walked by me and like patted me on the shoulder and goes,
And your children.
nice speech, and then just kept walking. like he didn't stop. He didn't say anything. He just walked by and went, nice speech, and kept walking. I was like, thank you.
If it makes you feel better, he knows exactly the effect he has and giggles about it.
Good to know.
Yeah, he's every moment is joy. So there's this town that he goes to. I'm not going to spoil too much.
He's a trader, and he goes to a town where there's usually
with a
an
D, not a-
ambiguous. Yes,
not a
he
trador,
trades
he's
in
a
skins and
trader.
furs.
Yes.
Like a Trader Joe.
And he goes to a place where he can usually like get some money for his pelts or whatever. And he's accustomed to finding this place in a, so far where I am halfway through this book, very ambiguously culturally backgroundy Yule tide. Like he's accustomed to there being some sort of cheerful winter ritual, and there is no joy in Mudville. This is a strictly no fun allowed kind of town, and that is an unpleasant surprise.
One of my favorite pages, this amazing page, is that a child walks by and one of the guards says, "What's in your hands? Is that some kind of toy?" It's like, what? He's like, "Leave the boy alone. He's got a stone in his hand." Stone's not a toy, and the guard says, "In the hands of a child, anything can become a toy."
Contraband!
And
So kids can't touch anything.
Kids can't
no
have.
touching
Kids
things.
can't play in the streets. Kids can't have toys. All toys are the property of kind of the
This
child
horrible,
prince.
ghoulish little child prince. The
ghoulish
theme
child
of today is that kids are brats.
Yeah.
Man, it's like
Most
a Terry
of our
Gilliam film.
stories
Brats.
are about kids being brats.
Yeah, it's like a Terry Gilliam film. It's children are scary. It is. There's a sign in the background. I forgot how much I love. It is forbidden to wish.
It's on a wishing well.
on a wishing well. This place
It's
is.
a great.
This place
I
is
love it.
amazing. And so he gets kicked out, and he doesn't just get kicked out. The guards beat our hero to the brink, take all of his stuff, take all of his furs, and then chase him out
Leave him
of
in the woods
city,
to die.
And just eventually leave him in the woods to die, what they assume, except that he's got a wolf friend who saves him, a giant dire wolf. He makes some soup and hallucinates.
This is where it gets Grant Morrison.
This is where Grant Morrison comes
Yep,
in.
this is where it's Grant Morrison.
Things that look like aliens come to visit him and give him superpower. I love the. Here's the 3 most Grant Morrison pages you will ever see. Oh yeah, here. Aha! He eats some magic soup, and then this happens, which is basically like.
He says the soup has healing properties.
Yeah, it has healing
But
properties.
they're clearly somewhat psychedelic.
And clearly, I need to own the suit that looks like that. And then he wakes up in the morning, and there are toys everywhere.
It's a weird hangover.
What's he gonna do with all those toys?
He literally wakes up like, what did I do?
What have-
Yeah,
what
no,
have
like
I
hung
done?
over. It's the yeah.
Again, it just so beautifully illustrated by Dan
What
Mora.
did I do last night? It's like the last line. I can really identify with that. It is.
That splash page is
Oh,
gorgeous.
man, every
End of issue 1. Spoilers for end of issue 1.
end of issue 1. Not much of a spoiler.
But this
like,
is where you find out what you're really in for. Because up till now, he's just been some mysterious guy who hangs out with a wolf. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh.
I'm so gonna I may have to get a copy of this for Joe just because it's kind of killing me now.
You should.
Yeah. We'll write the screenplay. We'll figure it out. We'll do it ourselves. We'll make it a Geek and Sundry production.
Grant enjoys writing.
So
this
what D&D class would have a bond with a wolf, but also a lot of crafting skill?
Ranger.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Although, a Yule Ranger, you can make a subclass specifically. Subclass for.
This is what I was basically angling for, yes.
Oh my God.
a Yule Ranger.
Design the Yule Ranger.
Yeah, no, like favorite terrain would be snow,
Yeah.
because we have to. Winter would be favorite terrain.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's so much you could. Oh man, this is gonna ruin me.
Does he get a special ability when he leaves his rune of joy in various places?
Oh man, oh yeah, it's gonna get bad. There's gonna be the Rune of Joy. It's bonus actions to sneaking into any
He's
building.
definitely
that
got
has a
stealth
chimney.
advantages, yeah.
Yeah. You can
He
break
gets
them
in and out of that town really easily.
Who is this man?
Who is this man?
How does he bring joy?
I prepped something for you and for my lovely wife, Brittany. There is, I can't remember which Marvel one it is, but it is one of the Marvel holiday magazines. Do you know those? Like they did like 5 or 6 of them, sort
They've
of like
done a few
mid-2000s,
different
I think.
projects
Yeah.
like that, yeah.
I think it was number 3 or 4. I can't remember exactly which one. Where it was all the Great Lakes Avengers. Did you read that one?
No, I saw the beginning
What?
of it today, but I didn't have time to read that one.
There is an entire one of the Marvel ones in the account is like I think it's Marvel Holiday Magazine number 3 or 4. It's all Great Lakes Avengers.
Is it the one
stories.
where she goes for eggnog?
Yes.
Ah, it's so good.
So who are the Great Lakes Avengers?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh,
They're
okay.
the new warriors, apparently.
Yeah, they're the new Warriors now on TV.
That is a joke that like 10 people just got.
Sorry,
oh,
guys.
Man.
Oh, how's chat doing tonight? I'm sorry.
Chat's
we're
hanging
very.
on.
Yeah, we're a bit loopy tonight.
I'm gonna be up to like
Can
5
you tell us
a.m.
like that we're winding it up the years? Just like, woo!
I think they're having
Let's
a-
not
yeah.
make excuses. This is just a Wednesday.
This is just for me. It was a Wednesday. I'll be making that
Great
joke
Lakes
forever.
Avengers. Whew, I can't remember when they were first invented, but they had a great run in the mid 2000s, and they are. You have the West Coast Avengers sometimes.
So you have the Avengers who are
Avengers.
impressive. The West Coast Avengers who are like kind of a B team that people sort of make fun of, but have some really iconic members and a lot of
Yeah.
great stories.
But the Midwest doesn't have any Avengers, so this group of adventurers that all live around the Great Lakes form up the Great Lakes Avengers.
Yay!
And it is very funny. Like this is the one that gave. This is the run that brought Squirrel Girl much more prominence. Before then, she had kind of appeared here and there,
like maybe
she
two
was the
appearances,
big deal on
not
that
much.
team.
but she was the shit on that
Yeah.
team. So on the Great Lakes Avengers were Mr. Immortal, Craig Hollis, who his only power is that he can't die. And when you think about it, that sounds pretty amazing.
Until
Until you see how that power works, which is, hey, bad guy, stop. Falls over dead. Wakes up later when the fight's done.
yeah, he's basically the human shield for about 5. He's a meat shield.
Yeah, he's a meat shield for all of 5 minutes. He feels the pain. He can
Yeah,
bleed to death,
it's-
like he can chop his arm off and he won't die. He just
Come back.
oh, that's not growing back until I actually die and come back to like, he's not a great hero.
And
there they are at the very end.
There's Mr. Immortal. There's Flatman.
Yay!
There's Flatman, who's basically Mr. Fantastic, but only two-dimensional. So if he's facing you, you can see him, but if he turns away, he disappears.
He's
Oh,
flat.
man.
And
Because
then
he's flat.
Jenny Newman's best costume ever. We have a friend who cosplayed Big Bertha, and
Big
it was
Bertha.
amazing.
Yeah, she had like one of those like inflatable fat suits, but she drew the swimsuit on there.
It was
I
so
have
great.
not read this run, and I hope that I will come to love Big Bertha. Will
You
I
do.
come to love Big Bertha?
Big Bertha's like this is the thing is this whole team is likable and great.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like they're just Midwestern.
Yeah.
They're so Midwestern.
And they're all in it for the right reasons, and they all like are a family. That's one of the things that I want to talk about with the Squirrel Girl one. But real quick, Doorman, the guy, the black suit, his power is that he can create portals and stuff like that and jump through them. He ends up dying partway through the run and becoming an avatar of death. And that's what you read, what you have, like you already knew that going into this particular comic, but you just really never do anything with it because he's still allowed to go be a hero. But he is also an avatar for death, and he has to go collect souls whenever he's called to go do that. So sometimes he's got to leave a fight and go collect souls because he's moonlighting as an avatar of death. So this comic has some very poignantly sad moments in it. But one of them is not the Squirrel Girl. The Squirrel Girl part starts it all off, and they're like, hey, we're having our Great Lakes Avengers party, but we're out of eggnog. Squirrel Girl's like, I'll get it, and she runs off. Big Bertha, who's also a very wealthy supermodel by day.
Yeah, her day job is she's a supermodel, and then that's her secret identity. She's a supermodel, and then she like changes her form when she becomes a superhero, and like
Yeah, and she actually prefers the Big Bertha persona.
That's where she's like gets
That's
all
like she's like,
where
this
she
is
feels
who I
like,
really am.
This is my thing,
But she can like purge the weight
and shrink down and lose her power.
and shrink down and be. I'm a supermodel. No one knows who I am. Oh, thank God, I'm who I really am. Like it's a very weird power.
She's great.
So she buys the team little bitty helicopters for Christmas, and Squirrel Girl's like, I love Big Bertha. This is the greatest Christmas gift ever. So she's flying with Tippy Toe, her squirrel, because her other squirrel monkey Joe had died by this point. And they're
Damn.
Tippy Toe is still her best friend.
I legit love the Great Lakes Avengers. Like I've
I need to read this run.
Such a good book.
So she's flying on her way to go get eggnog, and she sees S.H.I.E.L.D. in a fight
Right.
below her, and she's like, well, I better go see what they need down there. And she lands, and Dum Dum Dugan is like, thank God, Squirrel Girl, you're one of the greatest superheroes of all time. Thank God you're here. She's like, what do you need, Dum Dum Dugan? He goes, well, we've got a problem. AIM discovered a base at the bottom of this lake. And she's like, that belonged to Maelstrom. And she's like, we know. It's got a lot of world-ending technology down there. The worst part, MODOK has discovered it.
And MODOK erupts out of the light. He's like, I am MODOK. She pulls out her cards and she's like, oh yeah, I've got the Iron Man trading card set. I know who MODOK is. I've got this. And she beats MODOK.
Because she's Squirrel Girl.
Because she's Squirrel Girl.
Because she's Squirrel Girl. Unbeatable.
But
the unbeatable
here's
squirrel.
where the wonderful charm of who the Great Lakes Avengers is. At the end of that particular story, and there's only 4 pages of the special because they visit every single character in the Great Lakes Avengers. At the end of that, Dum Dum is like, we've been monitoring you for some time. We've seen you defeat Galactus. We've seen you defeat Thanos. We need someone like you on our team. How would you feel about joining S.H.I.E.L.D., Squirrel Girl? And she's like, I'm flattered. That's amazing. It's been a dream of mine to do that, but golly, I already belong to the greatest team on Earth, and it's the Great Lakes Avengers. So I'm going to have to kindly deny your offer to be a world-saving hero because I'm already doing that. And like then it cuts back to the rest of the Great Lakes Avengers and their apartment, essentially. It's just like this shitty little apartment. They're all like, yeah, like let's go have fun and go get some Christmas trees or something like that. You know, like they're all super lame, but she loves those.
We never cut to Dum Dum Duncan drinking alone later, just with a little whiskey and just crying sadly.
Nope. But one of the most sad, poignant stories. There's 2 really sad, poignant stories in this, and I'm gonna spoil both of them because I want to talk about them. There's a character named Dinah. D-I-N-A-H, that's her name, Dinah. Her last name is Soar, S-O-A-R, and she is a pink pterodactyl.
As you do.
I cannot remember if she's an alien or if she's from like the Savage Lands or whatever. I think she's Savage Lands, but she doesn't talk. And in all of the Great Lakes Avengers issues up to now, she's never talked. She can only talk to Mr. Immortal. And it's not because of his power. You learn in this issue, you see their back history of how he can hear her talk. And it's because he lost a girlfriend. I can't remember who it was. She was also on the team. She died in battle. And on Christmas, he always goes to visit her grave. And he's saying like all these wonderful things to this woman that he's lost, that he loved. And then he hears a rustling and turns around and it's Dinosaur. She's in the tree. And he's like, I appreciate that you're here. This is a very private moment for me, and I need to have this moment. Thank you for being here. And he goes, but you know what, while you're here, I got you this flute for Christmas because you can't talk. And I thought this would be a really sweet way for you to communicate with us. And then she thanks him with her voice. And he goes, oh, well, you're welcome. Wait, you just talked to me? And she goes, my race is so long-lived that we only bond with one person or one personality, and they are the only person ever to hear our voice. So we're very careful with who we choose. I've chosen you. And over the next 4 years, they fall in love, develop this very loving, wonderful relationship. And then she dies in battle, and now he's lost 2 girlfriends in battle, and he is Mr. Immortal. He cannot die. So no matter what, he doesn't know when he's ever going to be able to follow these women like that he loves. And at the end of that issue, he sits down at it's her grave now, and he goes, hey, remember this? And he pulls the flute out and plays her a song. And it's just like, oh, I'm okay. Like I literally was tearing up and I was like, that's the 3rd time I've read that story. And like, I'm like tearing up in the office, just like, nah, I'm cool, man. I'm cool. That's cool. I'm cool.
You were making a face earlier. I was like wondering what was that.
Yeah. I was probably reading that. Yep. And then the doorman story. Like, I'm not even gonna touch that.
No. Well.
But that's the thing about this one issue. This one issue is just like, this is hilarious. This is so poignant and sad. This is real funny. Here we go again. It's just like, it's up and down in all the best ways. Like it's one of my favorite Christmas specials is the Great Lakes Avengers one. I mean, I also just like love the team.
Well, the Great Lakes Avengers is such a good team. It's such a good read.
It's such a stupid fun story. Like the Great Lake, like the Squirrel Girl also defeats Thanos in this. She fights MODOK and Thanos in this one issue. Yeah, there's Dinosaur.
Oh God, I forgot what a great character design Dinosaur.
Yeah, but she can't talk. She doesn't talk to the rest of the team. Anytime she talks, you just see a pink word bubble come out and it's blank, and they're all so all they hear from her is. they can see her lips moving. Mr. Immortal's the only one who can hear her. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. That's such a
And they
strangely
hadn't
sweet.
revealed why he could understand her until this special.
Ah.
Is it Dan Slott?
I actually can't remember.
I want to know who to be mad at.
Man,
This
you
is
got a lot
wonderful.
of DC holiday specials.
I'm
bless you.
gonna see if I can.
I
find
wrecked
it real
myself
quick.
by finally reading Metropolis Mailbag.
By reading what?
Which?
Metropolis Mailbag?
No, no,
That's
no.
the one I've often seen on lists of favorite holiday
I
stuff.
haven't read that one.
I haven't read
So
it either.
Metropolis Mailbag is like 1991 or 2. It's before Superman dies. They revisit it the next year, but it's after his death. So it's like right before that all goes down. And it is one issue of Superman comics, like Superman 64, I think it is, by Dan Jurgens. And it is, it's interesting because they sort of drag their feet getting into it. I've been reading about this for years, so it was interesting to like finally sit down and actually read the story. And they open it with basically him talking or reflecting on how much he is dreading doing this. So for instance, here's what they pick on the cover.
Yes. Oh.
Dear Superman, I know you probably get a lot of requests for help, but you are my last hope. My father is dying, and the doctors say they can't help him. But you can do anything. You can save his life. Please help. Love, Robbie.
Man, I remember this.
So this is basically an issue about how much it sucks to be Superman. Because he goes in and like they welcome him to like his room at the post office or whatever, and he's got Lois there. She's just like, yeah, I'm doing a story. But at this point, I think they're engaged or married.
Yeah.
So he's sort of like, yep, there's even more this year. And she's like, oh, wow, you weren't kidding. This is an entire room full of letters. And basically there's mail to Superman because everybody all over the world writes him with things they need. And a bunch of it is people being like, we can make a lot of money. Will you use your heat vision on these rocks in Alaska? And then blah, blah, blah. But then he sorts through and he finds essentially a couple of meaningful requests and flies around. There's the basically the first thing he does, and like, so there's a weird thing with this where I'm kind of like, this is cheap, but also I'm crying, because one of the first thing he does is read a letter from a woman who lives in Chicago who basically says, I thought my entire family died at Auschwitz, and I just found out that's not true. My sister is alive and she lives in East Germany, but I don't have the means to do anything about it. And she writes a letter to Superman. And he basically, at the whatever ambiguous holiday period this is, shows up at this old woman's house in Chicago and goes, get your passport. We're going.
In my head, it's just all of Hanukkah.
It's like, and he sort of knocks that out, and then he does go try to handle things with this kid, which is, obviously, like, he has to explain to this kid, there's extra twists to it, but like it essentially, you read this and you're sort of just, you're exhausted for him emotionally about like trying to figure out what he can and can't do, and like the limits of he may be Superman, but he cannot help this kid with his dad's brain tumor. But like somehow the book isn't a downer. You read about like, he's Superman. And then there's one more request, which is like whether he will show up at like the local Gotham police charity dinner that they always have for kids because there was something this year and they couldn't afford toys and blah blah blah. And he does it, and it's just Lois being like, "This is why I love this man. Like he should be exhausted. He should resent it, but he dresses in all black so he can like hold a sleigh and make it look like Santa's coming in. He flies the sleigh into the gathering of the kids.
This is Superman Mailbag, or
this is Metropolis Mailbag.
Mailbag.
It's the name of the story.
It's in the box.
You bought it. It's in our Comixology.
I didn't have a chance to read everything.
Yeah.
No, I remember this.
No, but good call. It's Superman 64. The story is called Metropolis Mailbag.
Oh my God! I'm gonna read that right now.
Yeah, no, I remember reading this at the time. I remember this coming out and it really breaking me.
It's just a beautiful like
Dan Jurgens.
get in and get out, bittersweet, but mostly sweet, like a Superman story that people have been talking about ever since.
Well, this is, and this is one of those things that I don't know, it's one of the weird things about the modern world is I don't know if you've experienced this yet, but I've reached that point of Twitter followers where I get a lot of like requests to share like a lot of like requests to raise money for medical issues and medical expenses.
I haven't gotten
I get a lot
there yet.
And then I have like personal friends who are also doing that, and like it's kind of this horrifying notion of like genuinely not knowing what to do. Of like I cannot be the arbiter of like putting this in front of 80,000 people. That's just like, and like then there's has to be decisions made. Like how like this is such a good Superman. Superman has been dealing with this since 1992.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, to jump onto that, there was a DC, I think it was DC Infinite Christmas special.
Yeah, I saw that in the
where
I didn't see that one.
Superman takes Supergirl to the place where he has all the letters, and he's like, "Hey, I think that you should be doing this too." And she gives him some attitude, but he convinces her that she should read through some of these letters and help out. And she finds one from a little girl who says, "My dad is deployed overseas. All I want to do, he's a soldier, all I want is to see my daddy. I miss my daddy." So she's like, well, I've got to do this one. So like she does a few other things and helps a few other people out, but she flies, finds this little girl. The little girl's adorable and she's pigtails and big glass. She's like, "Mommy, Supergirl read my letter to Superman. She's going to help." And the mom says, "No, don't. Do not take her to him. Do not bring him to her. Don't." And Supergirl's like super pissed. So she goes to Alfred in the Batcave, figures out who this guy is, flies overseas and finds him, and he's a jerk. And he doesn't want he didn't want to have a kid. His wife didn't tell him that she was pregnant, like all that other stuff. And he's like, so don't bring me home. I'm a dick. Like I didn't want a kid. I don't want to have a kid. I'm a terrible guy. I'm a drunk, and when I'm not drunk, I'm asleep. Like I'm not changing anytime soon. Just leave me alone. Supergirl, even more pissed, flies away. Can't figure out what to do. Finally, he's like, "No," because she starts thinking about her dad, how much she misses her dad, what her dad meant to her, how much she wishes she had a dad, but her dad blew up on Krypton. So she flies back, pulls the guy up to 29,000 feet and goes, "Well, I can't lie. So I'm not going to tell her that you're dead like you want me to." And she lets him fall for a minute. Swoops down, puts him down and says, "I've been close to death a lot of times. I know your life doesn't flash before your eyes. I do know that you realize all the holes that you wish you'd filled. I'm not going to tell you what to do.
What?
But I'm guessing that you saw your daughter and that you had wished in that time that maybe you had taken the chance to go visit her." And she flies back. She like leaves it at that. And then the last panel is he decides to go visit his daughter on his own.
Sort of on his own.
Sort of on his own.
Yeah.
But like,
I will admit
she's
that
like, "I'm
that's-
never going to come back. I'm not going to threaten." Like,
Yeah.
maybe nothing sunk in. I don't know. I'm not going to tell you what's right or wrong. Hopefully, though, your daughter flashed before your eyes.
Man, that's doing weird things to my abandonment issues. I don't know how I feel about any of that.
Speaking of abandonment, I don't think it was in the thing because I'm not sure how easy it is to track down. But one of the other things that often pops up on these Christmas lists, I found out about it through one of them, was just after Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
The Christmas with the superheroes, when.
I'm loving chat. Sorry.
Are they-
I'm really enjoying chat right now. Sorry.
So just after, so DC did a big storyline called Crisis on Infinite Earths, where they collapsed all the different versions of things, and part of that story was a couple of heroic deaths.
Yes.
Yep.
So there is a fairly famous story where I think it's Boston Brand is just wandering around one of the DC cities and ends up making contact with someone, and this was. It's often brought up in the context of the fact that like you cannot clean up continuity because things will creep back in, and will usually not be mad when they do. Because this is an example of like the world refracturing, but nobody wishes it had been undone.
Was this the Planet Krypton issue?
No, this is it's a short piece that I'm thinking of.
Okay.
But essentially, Boston Brand ends up having a conversation with a stranger that we, the audience, realize is Supergirl, who no longer
no longer
exists,
exists. Oh,
and is
my
not
God.
remembered by anyone. And they have a little conversation about how the fact that you don't do it so people will remember you. That's not why you do this. And the audience, the reading audience who lost Supergirl, and who have to live in this world where she literally doesn't exist, got to see her via Deadman, Boston Brand, who's a DC superhero who can sort of is
dead and he can
stuck.
phase into people.
He's kind of dead. He can control bodies, but he can he lives in an in-between kind of world, which made him an appropriate.
Looks like zombie Daredevil.
He does.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good way to put it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's if you know a fan who was reading in the late '80s, see if you can give him the sniffles by bringing this one up, because it was a really beautiful little what's the point of it all kind of story.
Yeah. Well, and that's one of the things that I was finding reading all of doing a super condensed reading all these superhero Christmas specials all at once. That was one of the things that I started finding was that Christmas is a time of celebration, but it's a time of absolute poignancy and sentiment and recognizing the sadness that is a part of our just daily existence, but also, yeah, it's sad, but there's so much to celebrate too. And it's a more bittersweet time than I think we often give it credit for. And one of the things that I found was in Superman Peace on Earth. For whatever reason, had forgotten that takes place around Christmas.
Yeah, that's
so
I've never actually read that one.
It's really, I mean,
it's really
sappy,
good.
but it's really good.
But it's Paul Dini.
Yeah.
It's Alex Ross art. It's two of the greats.
Ross at his full Rossiness too.
Yeah, and it's late '90s Alex Ross, and this. So I know that they did a Batman one and a Wonder Woman one.
Yeah, there was
Shazam, I think.
And a Shazam one.
There was a set of four. It was Peace. From War. Hope.
Justice maybe.
And maybe
I can't
Justice.
remember. Yeah, off the top of my head.
They were big format, beautiful books.
Yeah.
They've just reprinted them, I think. You can finally get them as a set.
If you like Alex Ross art, they really. And the Superman and the Wonder Woman ones were my two favorites.
Yeah, so the Superman one deals with him attempting to solve in a day world hunger, at least to alleviate it for a day, and almost as a charity event for the entire world to see this is something that we need to address. And one of the lines in there is he says, he's you see him he brings a Christmas tree down to Metropolis, he puts it in the town center, zips around it super fast and just dresses it and lights it up in seconds, and Metropolis goes crazy. Then he's and then I had to take off because I have other things I'm Superman. I gotta go save people. And as I'm doing that, I hear a girl, and faster than I thought, I dive down between the crowd and the girl, and he swoops her up, and it turns out she's starving to death. So he takes her down, takes her to a homeless shelter, gets her some help, and that's what starts this whole thing. And the line that he says after that is attributed to Charles Dickens. This season is a time when want is keenly felt and abundance rejoices. Sadly, the first part of that statement is often ignored, as if acknowledging the unfortunate among us would dampen the merriment of the holidays. And it's that's such a Superman thing to say, and B, so true and sad, and it's just one of the, I'd forgotten how much I really loved this book until I picked it back. I was like, oh yeah, this is Christmas.
It's been a long, I don't think I've looked at it since I picked it up.
Yeah, same. I haven't read it since college, I think. But he attempts to solve hunger, and it has one of my favorite Superman moments in there, where he's visiting all these different cultures and countries, and some of the cultures are very open and excited for him to show up. Some of the cultures are starving and ravenous and just clawing at him to get to the food. But then there's a couple cultures where despots rule, and he brings the food down, and there's one where the despot is you can leave the food with us. We'll disseminate it. And Superman's I know this man is lying. I can hear his heartbeat. I've heard of him, and I'm a reporter. I know his name. I know who this is. I know he's lying. He's not going to disseminate the food. I'm going to do it. So he continues to do his thing, and then it turns out he's got men with guns trained on the citizens. And he says, "You're breaking the law, and now I've got to kill my own citizens." And Superman swoops down and blocks every single bullet. And his line is, 20 assault rifles fire, 200 bullets hiss through the air. No one dies today. And he catches every single bullet and melts every single rifle and feeds the people. And you're just Superman, yeah! Like it's a cheer out loud moment.
Alex Ross painted.
Oh, it's beautiful. I know I pulled a couple of it, but who knows where what I labeled it. I was crying.
I know we have to do our 5 minutes.
Yeah, we've got to wrap up.
Oh, man.
So much to do.
And I'll save this for last. I'll save this for after our 5 minutes.
I want to put one more in there.
Do it.
My all-time favorite Christmas story is the Christmas/Hanukkah story of Kitty Pryde alone in the X-Mansion.
Yes.
Oh God, I just reread it. It was so good.
So good.
It's so.
And it's like a weird elder demon.
Yeah, it's like is it the Ungari or the Brood?
I want to say I think I remember it being the Brood. They're definitely like broody
I
looking.
don't
Yeah.
think it's it came from a weird Karen, like stormed
The
destroyed.
Ungari then?
I think it's the Ungari, yeah.
Well, we'll reread it for next week.
So it's okay. Yeah, actually, and we can tell people next week is Uncanny Xmas.
yeah.
We're finally we're always joke about every week being X-Men week, but it for real is this time.
And can we announce our
say the
special
guest?
I
guest?
believe we can.
I'm so excited about our special guest.
Our dear friend Comic Book Girl 19, who we've been talking about getting on here forever.
I've never met her. I'm excited
Well,
to meet her
your
finally.
future dear friend,
she's
Comic
so
Book Girl
much fun.
19,
She's great.
who loves the X-Men like we love the
Oh
X-Men.
man, she loves the X-Men.
And
Yeah.
she's got a great web series all about X-Men
Yeah.
that is worth delving into.
So we will revisit this, but there is a wonderful issue of Uncanny X-Men 143 when Chris Claremont was writing. I'm going to guess it's John Byrne on the art there.
Well, I'm
But
sure
it
it
is.
yeah.
I don't know if he consulted a calendar or if it just worked out, but it is both Christmas Eve and Hanukkah at Xavier's school when everybody goes out for some various errands. It's the very classic post-giant size lineup.
It's Byrne.
Okay, John Byrne and Chris Claremont, one of the all-time great battling partnerships of comics. Kitty gets left all alone in the mansion with a threat, and she realizes this is her first Hanukkah away from home. God, and it's look at that cover.
Oh yeah, it is.
So good. It's a classic cover.
And it's my second favorite Kitty Pryde costume, I might add.
And she's only joined the X-Men as of like 129, 130 was her introduction somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there,
So
yeah.
it's been 14 issues of comic book time, not a huge amount of time. And it's her first big test. And it also is like, I just love it as an X-Men story because it gives you the power of the back when you would take. Now it would either be like a 2-page aside or a 10-issue arc, but this was just a self-contained story that happens where all the other X-Men go away and one of them deals with something in the mansion, and when they get back, they're like, what happened?
It is Merry Christmas X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess what just came down the chimney?
chimney.
Hilariously, I have not seen the first Alien movie, although I have been reliably informed that now I have.
Yeah, no, that's very fair.
That's very fair.
Geiger does good work.
I know we need to do the 5-minute topic.
We do.
But one other thing I
look it
wanted
up
to throw out was Doom Santa. And another one of the Christmas specials, Santa Claus visits Latveria, gets stuck in a Doom trap, and tells Doom, if you'll finish delivering all the toys, I'll give you whatever your heart desires, like gift-wise. And Doom's like, fine, I'll do it. And Doom is Doom Santa! Santa Doom!
This rhymes. Hold on, zoom out. What's the... Prepare yourselves, creatures. Away we will zoom. I'm the new monarch of Christmas. I am Santa Doom.
I am. So wow. I mean, I think if anything, that I think explains his evolution into the new Iron Man way more.
Well,
I feel like
wait.
Santa
The infamous
and Iron Man.
Santa Doom.
Hey, Chief, can you show what his greatest heart desire was?
Oh no.
So you see him like he's delivering toys. The Avengers don't understand who he is. They kind of fight him a little bit, but then they realize he's actually doing something great. And now, to Kang, to Immortus, to Ultron. But go ahead and show his greatest desire. I think it's the only other picture in there for Doom.
That is so rose. How does the mask smile? Okay,
Who
they have
cares?
finally broken me.
What was his heart's desire? We'll never tell.
But suffice it to say, all's well that ends well. It even
All right.
rhymes.
I want to cry.
Isn't
Look
this
at his
sweet?
face.
That is so Rosebud.
It's
That
like
is
his
so
Rosebud.
But here's the thing. We know his entire deal is how damn sad he is about his mom. That's the saddest thing I've ever
Yeah.
seen, and I literally just told a story about Auschwitz survivors.
And it's so sad.
All right, we are being
all
told.
right, we've
it is
got to do our
time.
5-minute topic.
It is time for our 5-minute topic. We are going to do our special holiday 5-minute topic. It is, and it comes from Lady Amphi.
Lady Amphy.
Lady Amphy.
Our brilliant mod, who says, "Quick, Santa has gone evil and recruited the Easter Bunny as his sidekick, plaguing both universes. Pick one DC and one Marvel character to team up to defeat them."
Oh.
The clock starts now.
Team up to take on the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus.
All right, we are the Wednesday Club. You can catch us on the.
We're gonna do that at the end.
We do that at the end. All right, yeah, we're doing our 5-minute topic. That's one.
Quit stalling. Go for it.
So, okay. Oh God.
I thought when you started talking, it was because you had your plan
sorry,
already.
No. I was. It's fine. Go.
Okay, I'll do mine.
Go.
Obviously, oh, God damn it, they're both Marvel. Never mind. I'm going to start mine, and then I'll figure out my DC
Okay,
character while I'm going.
all right.
There's only one superhero who can actually defeat Santa Claus, and that's Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock is almost the anti-Santa on a weird level.
yeah.
Only he is perfect enough, good enough, and understands how the cosmos operates enough to understand how to defeat an all-powerful, like Christmas deity like Santa Claus. There's just no one else who can compete and find that and compete with him on that level. When it comes to the Easter Bunny is a little more slapstick, and a little more rubbery in my opinion. I was gonna go Creeper, but I think we can go even better. I think that Batmite is the way that you go with that one.
Yeah.
Batmite and Adam Warlock team up to fight the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus. Batmite, of course, being kind of the Batman version of Mxyzptlk.
Oh my God! You just.
don't know.
Oh, that's genius. Read the
Okay,
question again. What is it?
It's Santa Claus. Santa
And the
Claus
Easter Bunny. They've gone bad.
Pick a
They're
Marvel,
gone
pick a
bad.
DC.
Marvel and DC to win. Okay.
Okay, I think I know who my Marvel is, but I need the right combo because there's a particular. Oh, ooh. Okay, this is gonna be an interesting one.
I expect nothing less.
Lex Luthor and Rocket Raccoon.
What? Oh. Okay.
Because I think you need a particular energy to take out the Easter Bunny.
Sure.
You need someone
Sure.
irreverent. You
Yeah.
need someone with an outside perspective and who's not afraid to get his hands dirty.
Preferably anthropomorphic.
Yeah, and it helps if he's a raccoon. So Rocket Raccoon is going to take down the Easter Bunny for besmirching the reputations of vaguely non-human entities everywhere. And then I was just thinking, who do you need backing him? Like who's like you can either go straight muscle there, or you can go the sort of organizational abilities, the coordinating power. Brittany's note: stop touching your hair, Matt.
I'm thinking. This is my thinking pose.
So it would be like Lex's heart growing 3 sizes because somehow like the Santa Claus going bad thing would basically be his fault. Like he would set something in motion that he would then have to realize was going to ruin the world instead of saving it. So he'd have to recruit help, which would probably involve setting up some kind of like dimension hopping or frequency hopping beacon thing, which would attract the hero he needs, which would turn out to be Rocket Raccoon. And together they would stop Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. Makiko.
Okay. Okay. So you need someone to remind Santa Claus of his once golden spirit, the good inside of who, like something has corrupted Santa Claus,
Yeah.
right? But he's hope and he's charity and he's everything that's good about like just humans in general, right? So you need Superman.
All right.
Yep.
You need
I'm with you.
Superman to not for the strength, like none of that. You just need Superman to remind Santa Claus of what's right and what's good. And also, like, Santa Claus has like an army of elves and everything else, and like Easter Bunny, God knows that dude's probably got like a giant family. So yeah, you need Superman's strength and muscle and speed and everything else. But to get there, you need someone who can cross the dimensions and everything else. Doctor Strange. I'm sorry, it's easy. I know.
So how exactly does Doctor Strange take out the Easter Bunny?
Yeah, dude.
What'd you say?
Oh yeah, dude. I want to hear the Doctor Strange versus the Easter Bunny.
Which book?
Which
Which book does he consult? Which rituals?
the good book.
The good book, the Book of the Vishanti. He
Okay.
consults the Book of the Vishanti. The Book of the Vishanti is more healing spells and healing.
Why is it so close on me?
I'm actually excited by the notion of like the Easter Bunny being like an avatar of Esther, of the ancient goddess Esther.
See, I feel like you can use the sort of rebirth ritual associations of the Easter Bunny in something that will trap or contain him. That does seem like a thing you can do.
You could absolutely do that. I was just using Doctor Strange to bridge the dimensions and get Superman back and forth wherever he needs to be.
I want Lex to just be mad that Superman's not that Santa Claus isn't in a green suit anymore.
All right, that's been our 5-minute topic. We are the Wednesday Club on Geek and Sundry's Twitch channel every Wednesday night at 7
And
o'clock.
Alpha.
And on Project Alpha pretty much anytime. Go subscribe there. So that's been our 5-minute topic.
That's Matt Key. I'm Amy Dallen. This is Taliesin Jaffe.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. All right. Real quick, we do have Wednesday Club 5-minute, 1 minute one shots on YouTube now. We're starting to put those up.
We're on YouTube.
We're on YouTube. So if you have friends who want to know about comic books, point them there, and then let that prove to them who the Wednesday Club is.
And I really want to quickly remind everybody, if you've got a second, from like 2007, there's a YouTube channel, The Holiday Pummeling by Dark Horse Comics, A Goon Christmas, which features voice actors that appear on the show. And maybe
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So yeah.
Who did that awesome thing?
Geek and Sundry did about in like 2006. So it's great. You should find it
All
on
right, we
YouTube.
got to wrap it up. Thank you for joining us very much.
Bye, everybody. Happy Christmas.
Taliesin, Amy, Matt, and we'll see you next week.
Next week.
No. First you play 2 perk cards, then you play a problem card.
So the black cards are like to screw over the white cards.
Yeah, you play them based on what you know of your judge.
Oh, okay. Well, you can conjure any food of your choice, and you can will any creative idea into existence.
Like I could have a big bowl of tacos and a puppet BFF?
Hey, Becca. Let's eat tacos and talk about boys.
I love you. Can we watch Heathers?
Ooh, do me.
Okay.
Lay a hand on me.
Okay, you can get advice from your future self.
Okay.
And you have Secret Service protection.
Ooh. Pass, Xander. Hobos are not secret millionaires. Also, don't take that Geek and Sundry gig. Beans, I'm too late.
Copy that. I'm on it.
Thank you.
I can transform my hands into any tool I want, and I have a 100-yard force field that blocks anyone I don't like.
Oh, I was walking and now I'm not.
Take that, Mackie! I owe him money.
But what about the problem cards? How about you can never have any secrets? To your grandmother?
Becca, no!
It was an accident!
Okay, well, you have to do everything anyone asks you to do.
Never stop eating jalapenos!
Well, nobody can see or hear you.
Oh, look, we've got Dirty Problems and Geeky Problems expansions. All of your emotional reactions play out in anime style.
私はハラペニョスを食べたくないですわ。
Check out You've Got Problems from Jack Dyer Studios, the creator of Super Fight and Red Flags. Get yours at jackdyer.com.